the Expos. Tonight in the National League, the Mets will play in Philadelphia. Frank Tanana and Tommy Green. About time for Tommy Green to lose a game. And the Padres at the Dodgers. Greg Harris and Kevin Gross. In the American League, Montreal and Toronto, they've already played. Toronto winners. Then Boston at Detroit, Texas at Cleveland, Baltimore at New York, California at Seattle. Felipe Alou, the manager for this Montreal club. He has the Expos in second place behind Philadelphia. In the National League East, let's take a look at the standings. Leading the way, as we all know, Philadelphia with that great record, the best in the major leagues at 16 games over 500. Then the Montreal Expos, then the Cardinals in third place after that win yesterday, and the Cubs lost in Florida. And then you see the Cubs bringing up fourth place, and then Pittsburgh, Florida, and New York. Let's take a look at Joe Torre's lineup, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Just plain smart. He'll lead it off with Bernard Gilkey in left, Ozzie at short, Greg Jeffries at first with Langford in center, Witten in right, Zeal at third, Alicea at second base, Big Hector behind the plate, and Rene Arocha on the mound. Defensively, Vanderwall, Alou, and Walker in the outfield. Around the infield, it's Lansing at third, Cordero at short, DeShields at second, and Bolick at first. Tim Laker just recently recalled from AAA behind the plate. And on the mound, a right-hander, Jeff Shaw. He's been in the big leagues, but in the American League with the Cleveland Indians.
Well, Jeff Shaw has made his 12th appearance, his third start of the year, and you can see his numbers: 20-plus innings, 5 walks, 15 strikeouts. He's allowed 3 home runs, but the opponents are batting only .188 against this right-hander.
Who are the men in blue, you ask? Behind home plate, Randy Marsh, Ed Rapuano at first base, Angel Hernandez at second base, Larry Vanover at third. Overall, a rather young umpiring crew. And a look at Randy Marsh, veteran of this group. And a look at all the folks who couldn't get tickets to the Montreal Canadiens game. They are fighting for a chance to take their act to the finals in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Just down the street from our hotel at the Forum, they're playing the Islanders. So not a very big crowd here tonight at Olympic Stadium.
And you're looking at two of our traveling party that are a little bit under the weather. Joe Torre and Joe Coleman battling a little bit of the flu, and they know this team is going to have to battle a young and exciting Montreal Expos. They haven't had any problem hitting. Their problem has been pitching.
Pitching wise, this Montreal team 12th in the National League, and there are only 14 teams. We've seen Pittsburgh, they're second to last and bringing up the rear, that expansion Colorado team. But Montreal right down at the bottom with a team ERA of 4.3. Gilkey to lead it off, and a good fastball for strike one.
Now the Cardinals should see a pretty good fastball from Jeff Shaw. He throws 2 of them, the 4-seamer and the cross-seamer, also a slider and a changeup.
A little high and away. Bernard Gilkey, then Ozzie, then Jeffries. If anybody gets on, Langford here in the first.
You know, Joe, their bullpen is a little bit weary from the battles in Philadelphia.
That's a foul ball out of play. Yeah, yesterday their starter, Heredia, didn't even make it out of the first inning, so they had to use a lot of their pen in that 14-7 loss at Philadelphia.
And Jeff Shaw, because he's only making his 3rd start, is going to be under a 75 to 80 pitch limit.
Gotcha. Gilkey strikes out looking to start the game. That pitch broke in over the inside corner.
Well, they say he has a hard, late breaking ball. You know, it's typically described as a slider, but he kind of wrapped it there, but he gets good movement on it. So this guy, fairly inexperienced, but he can be tough.
Now Ozzie. Ozzie came into the game in the late innings yesterday, was involved in the double switch of the 9th inning, and then ended up getting a 1-out hit in the 10th and scoring the winning run at Pittsburgh. It's 2-0 to Ozzie.
Well, we say we've been having trouble with the breaking ball pitchers, the changeup specialists. We should like Jeff Shaw.
Here's his 2-0 to the Wizard, and it's ball 3.
Montreal pitchers have really struggled in the first inning. Opponents have scored 52 first inning runs in their first 43 games.
Not anywhere close, and that's ball 4. So 4 straight out of the zone puts Ozzie on base here in the first inning. So a strikeout followed by a walk. 1 on, 1 out for Mr. Jeffries as Ozzie will run the bases. He has 5 steals this season. There's Greg hitting .275. Leads the club in runs batted in with 24. Knocked in a run in yesterday's 9th inning at Pittsburgh. Looked like it would be the game winner until the home run in the bottom of the 9th. The Cardinals pulled that victory out of the fire. It was a wonderful afternoon, and we forgot about all the struggles in the early going. Taking 2 out of 3 from the Pirates. That's low to Jeffries. That microphone down there making this guy Shaw sound like he's throwing 110.
Well, Joe Kerrigan, the Montreal pitching coach, told me that he throws 92 to 93 miles an hour. I asked Witten about him. He played with him a little bit in Cleveland. He said nowhere near that.
And he misses again. That's 6 straight out of the strike zone, and it's 2-0 to Jeffries. The only Cardinal hitter around is Gerald Perry, who has faced this pitcher, Jeff Shaw. That was in Gerald's brief time in the American League with the Royals.
Actually, Jeff Shaw came from the Royals. He was part of the trade for Gardner.
Gardner and Pyatt.
And then they got Spear, who just was sent out today by Felipe Alou, and he traded places with Laker.
Borderline pitch for a strike, and the crowd applauds that effort. And Jeff Shaw saying 1 out of 7 ain't bad. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 on, 1 out. Jeffries up with Langford to follow. First inning in the first game of a 3-game series here in Montreal. Ozzie may do some running. He does not. And Jeffries takes care of Mr. Lansing. 2 out. Greg went after a bad pitch there on 2-1. Almost looked like he thought the hit and run was on. Take a look at the delivery of this right-hander, Jeff Shaw.
Tries to utilize a little leg drive, and that's where you get most of your velocity from. And you're right, he went after a bad pitch. Talking to Jeffries a little bit before the game and felt he was not in a real good groove right now. One thing he wanted to do was to be a little more aggressive. Might have been too aggressive on that pitch.
He does get Ozzie to second. He's there with 2 out for Langford. Ray now hitting .285. That's strike 1. Langford was standing behind the batting cage while the Expos were hitting, talking to Tommy Harper, the coach with Montreal. In fact, their hitting coach, and Harper was saying, "How you getting along, Ray?" He said, "Oh, I'm still feeling for it. I'm really struggling right now." And he winked at me and he said, "I'm just trying to bait him." So Langford is feeling good at the plate, and his average has reflected that. Ooh, pretty good pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Randy Marsh has a very, very small strike zone today.
Take a look at this pitch. Looks like it's right down the middle.
You know, we're a little bit off balance with our angle and also that camera angle, but several of Shaw's pitches have been right around the plate.
Ozzie at second, 2 out, and a 1-1 count on Langford, who has driven in 19 runs this season. Go with those 2 home runs. See if the Cards can get a first inning lead for Orocha. 2-1. Glad I don't have to rely on a strike zone like that to make a living. Defensively, they play Langford pretty much straight away. Shaw behind on the count, 2-1. 2-2. You notice when we gave you the defensive lineup for Montreal, a name missing from the group, Marquise Grissom, who's been bothered by a bad ankle. And so he's not in the lineup.
Hurt his ankle yesterday and had to leave the game, and they said it'll be a couple days, but of course Grissom, he volunteered and wanted in the lineup today. I told him to take 3 or 4 more days off. Terrific player.
Runner at second, Ozzie, 2 out, and Langford steps out. You might have heard a small cheer here at the ballpark lot of folks brought their TVs, and the Canadiens just got a goal from Kirk Muller. They take a lead over the Islanders. 2-2 to Langford. Full count. Jeff Shaw has thrown an awful lot of pitches here in the first inning. He struck out Gilkey, and he walked Ozzie. Deep in the count, Jeffries grounded out, and now it's 3-2 on Langford. Ray trying to give the Cards the lead to the shortstop Cordero, and the Cardinals are finished in the first. No runs, no hits, a walk, a man left after 1/2 inning. A Rocha to the mound here in Montreal. No score.
Mountain man survival skills. The basics. A true mountain man must have a keen sense of direction, a certain physical dexterity, and a talent for surviving the most unforgiving climates. Of course, nothing is more key to a mountain man's survival than plenty of smooth bush beer and easy drinking bush light. So, head for the mountains and learn how the mountain man survives even the most grueling conditions.
Southwest Airlines to Louisville. Just plain smart.
For those who take life way too seriously, may we suggest an attitude adjustment? It's as easy as driving a Jeep Wrangler. The original go anywhere, do anything 4x4. That's now even easier to get excited about when you consider its price. So get serious about changing your attitude and get behind the wheel of a Jeep Wrangler today.
See your neighborhood Jeep and Eagle dealer today.
A look at Felipe Alou's lineup brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Just plain smart. Delino to Shields, John Vanderwall, Moise Alou, then Larry Walker in right, Frank Bolick at first, Will Cordero at short, Mike Lansing at third, Tim Laker the catcher, Jeff Shaw batting ninth. Here's DeShields, and he looks at a strike from Rene Arocha. Delino batting .255 with a home run and 7 runs batted in. Strike 2.
Rene Arocha is appearing in his 7th game, his 5th start. He's 3-0, good ERA at 2.27. He has thrown 31 2/3 innings, only walked 3. Big part of his success. He's struck out 19, allowed 2 home runs, and opponents are batting .198 against him.
And he strikes out the leadoff man here in the first inning to Shields. See ya. Defensively for the Cardinals in left field, Bernard Gilkey. In center, Ray Langford, Mark Whitten right, with Zeal, Ozzie Alicea, and Jeffries on the infield. Hector behind the plate, and Rene on the mound.
Well, you just get a good sense when he's on the mound, and he's in complete control.
He's not too much unlike Tewksbury. He has a different repertoire than Bob Tewksbury, but you always know he's going to be around the plate. And it seems like he's always going to keep you in the game. He takes care of the first 2 as Vanderwall grounds out to short. Welcome to Quebec, Mr. Arocha.
Well, he's a team leader with his .227 ERA. The opponents are batting only .198 against him. Cardinals have averaged 5 runs when he's the starter, and his walk ratio, well, it would be phenomenal if he didn't have Tewksbury in the same staff, but less than 1 per 9 innings.
He's just getting used to the United States, just getting used to English, and now we throw him into Canada. He doesn't know which way to go. Here's Alou, and what a player he is. They stole him from the Pittsburgh Pirates organization. This guy's going to be a good player, you would think, Al, for a long time. Hits the ball hard, but right at Ozzie. That was quick. Expos go in order in the first inning, and after 1 here at Olympic Stadium in Montreal, no score.
Hey, Vern, what you doing? What's that? A heat pump? Heat pump, schmeat pump. Vernon, where have you been? You should have talked to your buddy Ernest first, know what I mean? Vern, if you want to heat your home, be more comfortable, and use an energy that is virtually pollution-free. Natural gas is where it's at. So, Vern, call your gas company and check it out. Comprendo? Know what I mean?
What would you do for $1 million?
I'd climb the highest mountain and try a little skydiving.
For $1 million, I'd go back to work.
I'd eat a phone.
I'd wrestle an alligator.
I'd kiss a horse, yes. Right on the list.
I'd even let my wife retire. I would do anything for $1 million.
I would walk over hot coals, glass. $1 million is a lot of money.
People will do a lot of unbelievable things for $1 million. All you have to do is pick 6 numbers. Missouri's Lotto. What are you waiting for?
Guess what? Right through Memorial Day on your way
To the park, to the beach,
The church, picnics.
stop at Hardee's and get an 8-piece Hardy Pack
8 pieces, fried chicken, 4 biscuits.
for $6.99. Hey, good deal. Then get a second Hardy Pack for just $4. Whoa! A second Hardy Pack for just $4. That's enough to feed
Mom and Pop.
my husband, my mother, my grandpa.
Kids.
Are you ready for some real fun? No score into the second inning. Well, with expansion, everybody wants to know about pitching. And on our scouting report here this evening, let's take a look at some of the numbers. They're a little scary.
Well, the NL, the National League, is averaging 3.93 earned run average. The American League, better than 4 1/4. There were 71 opening day pitchers who had been released previously, and the Expos in 1992 had a 3.25 ERA. This year 4.30, and they're in second place. The Sky Report is brought to you by your neighborhood Jeep and Eagle dealers, experts in 4-wheel drive and all-wheel technology.
Witten grounds out 3-1 as Bolick feeds Shaw. There's a look at Joe Kerrigan, the Montreal pitching coach.
You know, Joe, they had 5 projected starters. They've already eliminated 3 of them from their rotation, and only one, Ken Hill, is pitching well. 2 of the guys, and Jeff Shaw has had to replace one of the 3 that have departed, but 2 of them, Jones and Bottomfield, are in the bullpen. Nabolts has been sent to AAA.
He was a loser in one of the games at Philadelphia. Here's a pitch low to Zeal. Todd had the afternoon off for the most part yesterday. Got into the game in the late innings. His average, 248. Same exactly as Mark Witten. Need to get these 2 guys going. 1 ball, 1 strike.
You're right. Mark Witten is batting 175 his last 10 games. Zeal's batting 188. But it's a long season, and a couple hits here and there will get them back on track.
The 1-1 from Shaw. Chris Chambliss, the Cardinal hitting instructor.
Chris had all the extra players out for extra BP today. Started at 245. But he's got a lot of work to do with a lot of guys. A lot of guys are asking for help right now.
3 balls, 1 strike. Zeal trying to get on with 1 out here in the second inning. This pitcher Shaw gave up a 1-out walk in the first inning. And Zeal now with a full count of 3-2. Were you out here for that early BP today?
I only threw a half hour and then crawled off.
I understand Mike Shannon even suited up and was running around in the outfield. I would have paid money to see that.
I think he was playing General Patton.
The 3-2 to Zeal, and into left field, well hit, but right at Vanderwall. And when you've been struggling a little lately, those don't fall in. But again, Zeal hits the ball hard, but right at Vanderwall and left.
All right, Joe, got a pitch. 3-2 pitch. He could look for something to drive, and he did. But he hit it right on the end of the bat. I'm not too sure he didn't break his bat. Vanderwall had a little trouble with it. Probably lost it in the lights, but he corrals it.
They have low lights here at the Dome. Very low, and they go around the rim. Just underneath the orange top. Alicea is hit by a pitch, and the Cardinals have their second base runner of the evening.
That way, Louis, take one for the team.
He tried to get out of the way, but just could not, and he's on base for Hector Villanueva, Cardinals' number 8 hitter. So Shaw hits a batter, and Cardinals have 1 on, 2 up.
You know, Joe, sometimes you get a player like Jeffries who was not in the National League last year, and he came out and looked at this field, and he thought the lights were much brighter. You know, a lot of people complain about how dark it is here in Olympic Stadium, but he thought it was brighter than years past.
Here is Villanueva. Alisei at first, 2 out, and that should do it. To the first baseman, Bolick. And the Cardinals are finished in the second inning. They leave a man after getting a hit batsman. After an inning and a half here in Montreal, no score.
If you're looking for a sports sedan with a 24-valve, 214 horsepower engine, 4-wheel anti-lock brakes, and traction control, the new Eagle Vision TSI should suit your taste. Allow us to whet your appetite. Test drive the new Eagle Vision TSI at your dealer now.
See your local Jeep and Eagle dealer.
Snooks has a great lineup of savings for you today. Here's the windup and the pitch.
Malt's barbecue sauce, 2 for $3.
Next on deck,
Eagle chips, on sale, half price.
And a double play.
Ortega sauces, buy one, get one free.
And here's Snook's designated hitter.
Pride of the Farm whole pork butts, 88 cents a pound.
Make a short stop to Snook's, your savings store.
Southwest Airlines to Louisville. Just plain smart.
The Busch Light beer cam is in. Back truck, because who knows, Busch Light could be putting you on television. A look at the roof and the lights and everything here in Montreal. They have had their fair share of problems with that roof, which comes down from a big arm that extends over this ballpark. Olympic Stadium. Here's Larry Walker, and there's ball one. Walker with good numbers, 305 the average, 7 home runs. Arocha has retired the first 4 here in Montreal. 1 out here in the second inning.
You know, Joe, I was talking about opening day rosters. Arocha is one of 37 rookies. He's not one that includes this, but of 37 rookies, 20 of them were in Double-A or lower last year, and 19 more had spent less than a year in the big leagues. 5 didn't even throw a pitch in the United States. 71 were released. 109 had losing records, and 87 had ERAs over 4.
Kind of makes an old pitcher want to get back into this.
No,
game,
it doesn't. But I mean, I've even heard talk about expanding, having expansion again in 2 more years. Boy, that'll be great.
Batter now is Frank Bolick, and the count is 1 ball, 1 strike. Bolick came from Seattle, 26-year-old infielder. Play a little third, a little first base. And he gets the first hit of the evening. Into center field, a 1-out knock. And the Expos have their first base runner.
Arocha is a rookie. Well, so is Bolick. He is one of 6 rookies that the Expos have. They say this switch hitter is a pretty good hitter, and he just goes out and hits it off the end of the bat, reaches for it, and drives it into center field.
Bolick, a winter ball teammate of Rod Brewer. So they were sharing some laughs before the game, and now Bolick gets the first hit of the evening, and that'll bring in Will Cordero. Young shortstop for the Expos, hitting .252. And he looks at ball 1.
He's got some good pop in his bat. He's hitting .313 over his last 13 games. And defensively, they say he has much better range.
Runner at first, Bolick does not have a stolen base this season. See, the Expos want to do some running.
Well, the Expos are #1 in the stolen base department in the National League by a large margin, 11 over their nearest competitor, the San Francisco Giants.
The 1-0 from Arocha, 2-0. Cordero up now, and Mike Lansing, another rookie, waits on deck.
That's one thing. They really don't have a leader amongst their players. Their genuine leader is their manager, Felipe Alou. But as far as an on-field player being a team leader, they really don't have one.
1 on, 1 out, and that's foul for strike 1. I would think the closest player they have to a leader is Walker, their right fielder.
Well, yeah, you could say that, but then some people say that he's a little bit out there in not left field, but right field, and he's a kind of a free spirit, free thinker that they wouldn't want too many people following him, but what a great player he is.
How about Grissom?
Grissom's upset with his contract. And you like to have somebody in the infield. They got all the young catchers, so there's no one taking charge there. They got a lot of young pitchers. And so Felipe really is assuming the role. And that is something that is more prevalent today's baseball. You used to always have, you know, when Joe Torre was playing, you had Joe Torre and Gibson, people like that. They took charge of the ball club, and Red could just be out there and just put up a lineup.
The 2-2 into center for Langford. 2 out. And Bolick back to first base. He's there for Mike Lansing. Now here's an interesting story coming to the plate. Lansing played at Double-A ball last year. Hit 280 at Double-A, and when their normal second baseman, Lino DeShields, couldn't answer the bell at the beginning of the season, they just allowed Lansing to play. Well, he started hitting the ball out of the park, started knocking in runs, started driving the ball in the gaps, hitting around 360 for the good part of the first quarter of the season. Now he's down to 303, but they moved him to third base because they just could not afford to have his bat out of the lineup. That's a wild throw to Jeffries, and it moves Bolick down to second base. An error on the pitcher, Rene Arocha.
The first error for Arocha, and here he short hops Jeffries. Just tried to flip it over there, and Greg tried to keep it in front of him, but it got off to the side, and Bolick took advantage of it.
So now a base hit by Lansing could give the Expos a second inning lead. First pitch from Arocha on the way, and it's a little low and away.
Lansing got that shot, as you said, when Delino had the chicken pox. He was going to be a utility player. He could play second, short, and third base. And then when Delino came back, they moved him to third to keep his bat in the lineup.
And he grounds to Ozzie. Easy play for the Wizard. Lansing grounds out 6-3. And the Expos are finished in the second inning. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error, 1 left. After 2, no score.
How much gasoline does your car waste? Dirty intake valves and fuel injectors can hurt your car's fuel economy. Over the average life of a car, that's precious gallons of wasted gasoline. But now there's new Formula Shell. All 3 grades reduce harmful engine deposits other gasolines can leave behind to help your car and your budget run at peak efficiency. Formula Shell, the cleanest reason yet to go with the world's best-selling gasoline. Shell, miles ahead.
Snapper lawn tractors have lots of horses. A great choice of Snapper drive systems. 5 different mowing widths. And some very useful Snapper accessories. All in any combination you like.
I'm Hardware Incorporated in South County and Weil Lawn and Power Tool in Belleville, Illinois.
You know, a lot of people go through a lot of trouble to get a little extra money. But you don't have to, Edna. You just get a loan from Boatman's. It's pretty darn simple. You just give them a call, they take down some information, they call you back. It's that easy. Whoa. Oh, let me get that for you.
Don't touch that quarter.
Okay.
Boatman's loans, as easy as 1, 2, 3. Is that getting heavy?
On Monday, May 31st, the Cards host the Dodgers at the ballpark. It'll be Six Flags Day. All paying fans 11 and under attending that 1:15 game get a free pass to Six Flags, and that is good for a $17.95 value. Good through July the 4th. Six Flags Day, May 31st, when the Cards host Tommy Lasorda's bunch. Joe Torre and the Cardinals head to the third inning. No score, and Arocha will lead it off. It'll be Arocha, then Gilkey, then Ozzie. Against the right-hander, Jeff Shaw. Ball one, and Arocha was already backing out of there on a pitch low and away.
Now this is how he was really baiting them. Of course, you can see how heavily padded not only the bat is, but also the finger that he broke. He has had the pins removed, but they really don't want him to be wasting any time trying to swing the bat. And you can see that's got to be uncomfortable also.
Doesn't look like he has any inclination to swing the bat, at least on the first two pitches. And Jeff Shaw has obliged and fallen behind 3-0.
You know, Joe, it just shows you that sometimes, you know, you can watch. Obviously, you watch, and time is being called for something out on the playing field. But
I think Moises Alou is going to come in and try to throw a strike here.
Yeah, he's going to talk about being a team leader. But, you know, sometimes you know a batter is up there taking, and you still can't throw a strike.
So it's 3-0, and the Cardinals might get their leadoff man on base for the first time here tonight. And then we'll see how Rene runs the bases. We haven't had much of a chance to watch that. 3-1, and you can hear from Randy Marsh. That was Steve Reich, number one. Rene will have that bat firmly planted on his shoulder.
And backpedaling.
He had to just stand in there and do a handstand, or
I mean, he looks good.
Bounce around.
Looks good until the guy gets in delivery, and then the back pedal. Oh, man.
You got time, says the catcher Laker, and almost a little too much time as Arocha grounds out 1-3. We'll pause 15 seconds for station identification on the Cardinal Television Network. Farmland lunch meats and hot dogs available at your local Shop and Save.
Kung Fu, the legend continues.
Wednesday at 8 on St. Louis 11.
Bernard Gilkey stands in. He struck out looking his first time. One out, nobody on here in the Cardinals half of the third inning. And now the Cardinals have had at least one look at this pitcher, and Gilkey goes up there swinging, strike one. First go around, does the pitcher have the advantage if the hitters haven't seen him?
Depends on who the pitcher is and what kind of stuff he has.
Tough chance for Cordero. Has to hurry. Got him. Cordero to his right. Threw across his body. Takes care of Gilkey. 2 out.
He comes in here. He had enough time to circle the ball and get a running start and flip it over there.
Very fluid. Very much at home at short is Will Cordero, and I think the same could be said for this man. Ozzie, 2 out, nobody on. Mr. Smith drew a walk his first time up, and he takes a strike. Ozzie batting .250 with 15 runs batted in. It's a heck of a pace for a guy who last year drove in 31 I should say. At either rate, seems like he will eclipse that mark here this season. If he continues on this pace, he will.
Well, he's hitting .350 with runners in scoring position.
That helps.
That helps.
That's foul down the line, and it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. And it moves to 1-2 now as Ozzie fouls it away. And not a bad hitter against these Expos last season. In fact, the Cardinals were 12-6 against Montreal. 6-3 at home, 6-3 here in 1992 against the Expos. The 1-2 to Ozzie, 2-2.
And of course, that one thing about the Expos playing here at home, they are, you know, I think 15-5 at home.
That is the best in the league. with regard to home record. Ozzie to the second baseman, DeShields. And the Cardinals again go in order. In the third inning. That'll bring us to the bottom of the third. It'll be Lakers, Shaw, and DeShields coming up. No score.
What is a mountain man's natural environment? Let's explore. A mountain man enjoys peaceful surroundings. A place where gentle winds blow. And the beauty of nature is all about. Only here does the mountain man find true happiness. With a smooth bush beer or an easy drinking bush light. So, head for the mountains and find out how the true mountain man can make any environment a more natural one.
Baby Ruth, baby Ruth.
My baby isn't beautiful, it looks so not divine, but if it didn't look so funky, well, it wouldn't taste so fine. If it didn't look so funky, it wouldn't taste so fine. Yo! Baby! Come on with your peanuts. Well, it's all the stuff I crave. They make it lumpy, make it bumpy, but they make it my fave. If it didn't look so funky, it wouldn't taste so fine.
Baby Ruth, baby Ruth.
Yo! Anytime, any place, go fish. Anyone, any taste, go fish. Any day, any night, any size, appetite. One place does it rhyme. Go fish.
At Long John's, get what you want any way you want it. From combo platters to baked meals, from value packs to $1.99 specials.
You can get your wish anytime. Go fish. Long John Silver's.
Go for one of our 3 great $1.99 specials. And don't forget to add a piece.
For the benefit of the folks back home in St. Louis who did not get a chance to see a lot of this or hear about the Busch Light beer can, we'll talk about it. It's in St. Louis, and it could put you in a Busch Light commercial. Busch Light drinkers all around town will be telling why they like Busch Light. All you have to do is look for the Busch Light beer can or Busch Light 6-pack truck, because Busch Light could put you on TV. There's a look at a strong triumvirate. Laker is 0 for 1 since being recalled from AAA as he flies to center. Taken care of by Langford.
Well, Laker really earned that return back to the big leagues with a batting average at Ottawa of .194.
You say that with tongue firmly planted in cheek.
Well, that was just going to lead me to one of Minnesota's call-ups.
Here is the pitcher, Jeff Shaw, and he looks at a strike from Arocha.
Minnesota Twins going so bad with their pitching staff, they called up George the Animal Samus, who had an 8.36 ERA in AAA.
Getting the job done down there, so why not call him?
Why not?
0-2 on the pitcher, Jeff Shaw. An 8 ERA. 1 out, nobody on. And a breaking ball. Jeff Shaw had already taken his helmet off and gone back to get something in the clubhouse. Now he realized that that was called ball 1.
Now watch this. Now watch not only the catcher, but watch the batter. And how in the world can that not be a strike? The batter's going back. And now this was a rerun, wasn't it?
This time he swung and missed. He wanted to strike out swinging. That's 2 strikeouts for Arocha and 2 quick outs here in the third inning. And it looks like Arocha has brought his good stuff to Canada. He looks sharp again here tonight. Here's DeShields.
I don't think we expect him ever to have bad stuff, do we? I mean, here we are getting to look at this 28-plus-year-old.
You still don't buy that.
I don't care how old he is. He can pitch.
DeShields struck out his first time. 1 ball, 1 strike. Delino hitting .255. He's been around for a while. His first full year in the big leagues, 1990. Still a rather young player. He made a quick trip through the Montreal organization. He's 0 for 2 here tonight. Ozzie takes care of DeShields, and Arocha looks sharp here this evening. After 3, here at the Big O in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, no score.
It's
the new New York Suit Exchange Grand Opening Celebration. America's best deal on men's suits just got better. How we're still always America's best suit buy, the home of the original famous $100 suit, always every day. And now, the new Gold Collection. Always top of the line, 100% wool Famous Maker suits, values to $500. Now $150 every day. Plus a free silk tie, free lifetime alterations, and a 1-year warranty. All for only $150.
Now 3 locations across from Northwest Plaza, downtown Clayton and downtown St. Louis.
Some mountains are over 500 million years old. And while water still covers over 2/3 of them, Jeep covers the rest.
Schnucks has a great lineup of savings for you today. Here's the windup and the pitch.
Sparkle paper towels, 2 for $1.
Low prices and inside.
Ultra Slim Fast, ready to drink, 79 cents.
This one will make it to the home plate.
Stay Sweet Yellow Corn in husk, 18 cents.
A hit up the middle aisle.
Schnucks Super Soda, 4 6-packs, $2.99.
A power play that'll hit home for sure. From Schnucks, your savings store.
That's the line score. You see the Cardinals have no hits in the game. And now the Montreal Canadiens cause a stir here in the park by getting the second goal in their playoff game against the New York Islanders. First up for the Cardinals is Jeffries. He grounded a third on a slow roller. This pitcher, Jeff Shaw, has retired 4 in a row. He walked one, he's hit one, and there's a ground ball to Cordero. This is something, isn't it? Making a star out of this pitcher, aren't we? One gone.
Well, they like this guy's stuff, and in spring training, I don't know how he got sent to the minor leagues. He was 5-0 with an ERA of 0.77 in 7 games pitched.
And they sent him out.
And they sent him out.
And they brung him back up.
They brung him up. They put him in the bullpen jack. He's making his 3rd start, but he does have a pitch limit of 75 to 80 pitches.
Batter is Langford. Ball 1 to him. Oh, we have a microphone in the catcher's glove.
It sounds like it, doesn't it?
5 in a row set down by Jeff Shaw. Randy Marsh calls it a strike, 1-1. When's the last home run we hit? You know?
It has been a considerable time.
None in Pittsburgh, right?
None in Pittsburgh.
Of course, that's a hard park to hit home runs.
Yeah, it's a hitter's park.
1 ball, 1 strike to Langford. And Shaw blew it right back. He's in the hole 1 and 2.
Joe Kerrigan said that he throws his fastball 92 to 93 miles an hour, but Witten, who played with him a little bit in Cleveland, said he didn't throw anywhere near that hard.
Langford is still up there with 1 out here in the 4th inning. There's Felipe Alou. To his right is his pitching coach, Kerrigan.
They have really revamped the pitching staff. They have changed 3 starters since the opening of spring training. And they say only Kenny Hill was pitching well out of the rotation.
That's right. Even Dennis Martinez, their star, has not been pitching well at all. But Hill is holding 4th. And we shall see him in the finale here on Wednesday. He'll be matched up against Joe McGrain. Langford leans back and full count results. Raining like heck all day long here in Montreal. We're under the cover here at Olympic Stadium. Still 3-2 to Langford. Langford is tied for the most hits on the club with Jeffries with 41 after his slow start. And they play Ray straight away in the Montreal outfield. This is a quiet, restful game. Scoreless, 4th inning.
It's just as quiet on radio as it is on TV.
Oh yeah, there's nothing going on here, man.
Well, you know, these fans really don't say anything.
You can't even hear the vendors. We have a lot of noise in our ballpark. 3-2 to Ray. He walks. He becomes the third Cardinal runner, the second walk. On 3-2, he laid off.
Ball's going to be up a little bit. Hanging off-speed pitch.
He throws that split finger. Look, some of those don't break all the time. Langford is a threat to run. He has stolen 6. Tim Laker's the catcher, and this is Witten with 1 out. It's been a while since he bopped one. Ball 1. He says that Shaw doesn't throw hard. Huh? He's a teammate of his over in Cleveland.
He pitched a little bit. He has a lifetime record of 3-11.
Hey. Well, I'm glad they took that pitcher out after 8 innings yesterday.
You know, I was talking to Mark about Otto yesterday because he was a teammate at Cleveland too, and he said, you know, he pitches a lot like that. He's in and out of trouble all the time. Remember, he had a couple innings where he thought we were going to knock him out, and I said, Mark, he was 9-19 in 40 starts. I said, how many good games did he pitch? And he said, oh, about 9.
Runner at first is Langford with 1 out. 2 balls, no strikes the count to Witten. Witten has been sitting on 6 home runs and 23 runs batted in for a period of time. They play him straight away. They don't even play him to pull. He pulls it into the corner, and Walker grabs it. Might get a double play out of it. Yup. That's terrible base running by Langford. Terrible base running. No score, bottom of the 4th.
Guess what? Right through Memorial Day on your way
to the park, to the beach,
the church, picnics. Stop at Hardee's and get an 8-piece Hardy pack.
8 pieces, fried chicken, 4 biscuits
for $6.99. Hey, good deal. Then get a second Hardy pack for just $4. Whoa! A second Hardy pack for just $4. That's enough to feed
Mom and Pop,
my husband, my mother, my grandpa,
kids.
Are you ready for some real food?
Southwest Airlines to Louisville. Just plain smart.
It offers features like anti-lock brakes, traction control, touring suspension, and dual airbags. But if all that doesn't move you, perhaps its 214 horsepower engine will. The award-winning Eagle Vision TSI. Buy or lease one at your dealer today.
See your neighborhood Jeep and Eagle dealer today.
We want to point out that Ray Langford was not running with the pitch. That is not the reason he was doubled up.
Well, this ball was the first really hard hit ball we have seen off the bat of Witten in a while. He gets the pitch right out there. He lines it. And as you said, you just can't get doubled up on a line drive. There was no reason. He wasn't running. Wasn't a hit and run, and particularly Walker, because he is a terrific fielder. Where are you going, Ray? There's only 1 out. Now there's 3.
So it sends us to the bottom of the 4th. Brings up John Vanderwall, who grounded to short his first time. Against Orochu, who's been tagged for 1 hit. Out of play. Vanderwall has 2 home runs this season. There's some good young ball players that they're bringing along simultaneously.
In fact, they have had no problems scoring runs and hitting.
Got 7 runs yesterday and lost to Philadelphia. Breaking ball, and that one's a little bit low. By the way, Pete Incaviglia hit his 7th home run of the year, and the Phillies jump ahead of the New York Mets 1-0. This batter had 4 home runs last year. He has 2 this year. Vanderwall. That's in for a strike. side corner, and Vanderwall wasn't looking for that one. That's 6 in a row. I think we want to point out something about Hector being away. He's not a good hitter. We know that. He continues to prove it to us, too. But he sets up these hitters very well and does a good job behind the plate, doesn't he?
Joe Torre, by his own admission, is extremely hard on his catchers. But he has been very, very pleased and says that Hector calls a terrific game.
With 1 out, ball 1 to Moises Alou. He's a good-sized young player who's only going to get better. He's good in all departments of the game. And
you just watch him, you know he's going to be a good hitter because he's very little movement in his batting stance. You know, he doesn't have all that movement back and forth. His hands are real quiet, and then he just pulls the trigger.
He's 6'3", 190. He can run, too. Hits it to the hole, and Ozzie tries to get him and did not. Good effort by Ozzie. Got a little tangled up when he landed on his tum-tum there, and he took a little longer getting up than he ordinarily does. The ball rolled away from him. What an effort, though.
Unbelievable. And, of course, Alou can run. And he gets down the line with those big, long strides, and he's running all the way. Almost fell on his face, but... And as a base stealer, Jack, he's 11 for 11. But that was a terrific effort by Ozzie, and Arocha says the biggest thing that has been surprising to him, or the biggest...
There goes a runner, and the play has to go to first. Close, but out. He was out. That was Walker. Might have called him out. Here comes Alou to argue. The other Alou, the manager, Felipe. I thought he was out. Did you?
I thought he was safe.
Okay, we'll make it a replay.
Well, that shows you what a tough job it is for the umpire. And Ed Rapuano is the first base umpire. Ball up the middle, and you see him takes a second to set himself, and can't really tell there, can you? Because you don't know when Jeffries pulls the glove.
I would say out, though, because you know the ball's traveling faster than the runner.
I want him to be out.
He is out.
That's right.
But the running game prevented the double play and caused Alicea to throw to first. Now a runner at second, 2 out for Frank Bullock. He has the other hit. He singled up the middle in the second inning. Bullock, B-O-L-I-C-K, from Pennsylvania. And Arocha gets on top. His fastball must be something, Al. He gets a lot of strikes on his fastball.
He's got a little better hop than you think. And that was the first thing that surprised Al Maxwell. They didn't think they threw very hard.
He slugs him in the back. That deadened that arm for a moment.
That'll teach you to get a hit off of Rocha. This one doesn't miss. It just gets him right square in the middle. Right on the 8.
Yeah. So they're 2 on, 2 out. And it brings up Will Cordero, who lined out to center his first time. Here's another pretty good young player. He has a .250 batting mark. Will Cordero has 4 home runs. He's a big fellow from Puerto Rico.
He muscled up over the winter, and they felt he'd be a lot stronger. He's also second in the National League with 14 doubles.
6'2" and 185. 2 on, 2 out. Big spot here in the game, and a strike on the corner. Arocha 3-0 in the way the Cardinals are not hitting. Better not let this other club get out in front, or if they do, by only a run or so. Cordero, the hitter. They play him straight away. That one's a little low, 1-1. Arocha with an earned run average of 2.27. He has struck out 22. Walked only 3. Watch it here to Cordero, and low and away. Boy, that was a perfect pitch from the pitcher's viewpoint.
Had him reaching, and of course it was the pitch before they went inside. And there he goes, that good slider. He's got a great slider and a real good sinking fastball, and then he can throw the 4-seamer. He'll run that one up and in on you and keep you honest.
How's he going to try to get him out? Ooh, he got him out on the corner, and the inning is over. That's 4 strikeouts and 2 left for Montreal. We played 4 scoreless inning.
Searching for the perfect shave? You'll find it with Norelco. Our lift and cut system lifts the hair so when it's cut, it can drop below skin level without the blades touching your face. So for a perfect shave, remember, Norelco makes close comfortable.
For years now, Mr. Krylon Spray Paint's been showing you how to get a professional finish, while I've been taking to the cleaners. Well, no more. Krylon's easy. Go play with your tarantula. I'll spray it here, the other leading brand there. Krylon's smooth, no runs, no drips, no airs, and dries to the touch in 12 minutes. The other brand's tacky.
Hey, Bob.
Have a seat.
Hey, great, thanks.
How you doing?
Good. I gotta go spray paint.
Don't get any paint on you.
Now for a limited time, get $3 back on Rust Tough from Krylon at participating retailers.
At Auto Tire, we know you have a tough road ahead. But don't panic. We sell Kelly tires. When the going gets tough, get to Auto Tire. For low prices and great service. Auto Tire, we keep you rolling right.
Why use Valvoline motor oil? It's the #1 choice of Indy 500 chief mechanics. Daytona 500 chief mechanics. NHRA mechanics. And Baja 1000 mechanics. For use in their race cars and in their own cars. Any more questions? People who know use Valvoline.
Zeal will lead off in the 5th. It's scoreless. This program authorized under television rights granted by the St. Louis National Baseball Club Incorporated, solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the St. Louis National Baseball Club Incorporated is prohibited. Zeal lined out to left his first time up. Only a couple of balls hit to the outfield against this pitcher. In at the knees from Jeff Shaw. Zeal has only 1 home run. His average, .248 at the start of the night. Into the hole, and a good play by Bolick. Surrender by Lansing to Bolick for the out. Zeal's 0 for 2.
Jack, you can see when the Cardinals are hitting and when the pitcher's getting ready to pitch, they blacken out that scoreboard for the Cardinals, Dodgers, and Atlanta. See, now they blacken it out. When the Expos hit, it is all lit up because our team has complained. And you want to hear something odd?
Yeah.
The Mets complained also. They complained that by turning it off, it disrupted their, they were complaining, so they turned it off and turned it black when they were playing. And then they said that going back and forth confused their hitters.
Astounding. Here is 1 ball, 1 strike to Alicea. He was hit by a pitch his first time. Cardinals have. How many hits we have, Bill?
How about none?
You kidding?
We have 2 walks, 2 walks and a hit batsman. Alicea was hit last time, but Jeff Shaw is at a no-no to this point.
Cardinals are 10th in the league in hitting. Alicea gets one on the ground to the Shields, who keeps the no-hitter intact. 2 good plays by the infielders in this inning.
You know, the Expos have committed 42 errors. That's the 12th most in the National League, but their coaches say that their errors haven't really hurt them. And this is an example of what they can do defensively. The Shields, a good all-around player, and he makes a fine play, robbing a base hit off the bat of Alicea.
Let's see if Hector can get lucky. Ball 1. Hitting ahead of the pitcher, Hector Villanueva, popped out his first time. He's had 5 hits, 41 at-bats. Batting .125 at the start. There's a strike. Shaw looks like Robin Roberts tonight. Bob Lemon. He's 0-1 for the year. He broke the bat and flied it into left field. Caught by Vanderwall, and the Cards go down in order and still haven't had a hit in 5 innings, and we're scoreless.
This place is unusual. Do you know why?
It's where wild things go. Where wild things go. They come from far away to be wild for a day. Where wild things go. Where wild things go. Hear the laughter live on the wind. The land of happiness.
Where wild things go. Busch Gardens, Tampa Bay, and no place else.
Southwest Airlines to Louisville. Just plain smart.
Room for 5. Ample cargo space. 4 doors. And of course, good mileage make Eagle Summit a very responsible automobile. However, an available 1.8-liter 16-valve engine and a 4-wheel independent suspension give it just the right amount of irresponsibility.
St. Louis Cardinal baseball is brought to you by Busch Beer. Smooth as a mountain stream. Head for the mountains of Busch. Well, this is a national holiday in Canada. It's Victoria Day. In honor of Queen Victoria. It must be illegal to hit the baseball on a national holiday here in Canada.
Well, there's only been 2 hits in this game, and we're going to the bottom of the 5th inning.
Montreal has both of those hits by Bolduc and by Alou. The bottom 3 in the order will face Rene Arocha. The Cardinals have had no hits. They've had 2 walks, a hit batsman. And it's a scoreless game in the home half of the 5th. This batter, who played at Wichita State, grounded to short his first time. And he pops it into short left field. That might drop. Ozzie made the catch. Ozzie practices that play every night for about 10 minutes on that little pop fly with his back to the infield. That's ordinary for him.
Yeah, but watch Gilkey just laid off it. You know, it's one thing. You saw him restart up, but that's a very difficult play. Ozzie, you know, is so great at it. But see, here's Bernard. You know,
yeah, but there's a problem there, Al.
Sure.
First of all, here's Laker, and ball 1 to Tim Laker. That Ozzie's range and his ability to make those plays causes a problem for Gilkey. On any other shortstop, Gilkey could just come in and take everything that he could get to.
Exactly right.
There's 1 out. Laker flied to center his first time, and that's ball 2.
Becky started the season with the Expos, who was batting only 176. They optioned him to Ottawa. He was hitting 194 there, but they brought him up because to stop the running game.
Deal has a long throw to make, and there are 2 out. Well, you can order Cardinal tickets by mail. State the date, the number, the price of tickets, send a check or money order, and add $4 for handling. There's the address, box 8787. There's the zip code 63102. A bouncer to Alicea. After 5, no score.
Nearly 300,000 Missouri children go without health care each year, and when they get sick, they simply can't afford to get there. To a parent, it's a loss of control. To a child, a loss of youth. But through the Caring Program, a charity developed by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Missouri, we're providing health benefits to the children of low-income families. We believe everyone deserves access to quality health care. So we're looking today toward a brighter future. And what better way to see it than through the eyes of a child?
What would you do for $1 million?
I'd probably eat my socks.
I would eat cockroaches, grasshoppers, grub worms, spider that wiggle. I hate bugs.
100 tamales, and without taking off the husks.
I mean, wouldn't
anybody about do anything for $1 million?
Yeah, I'd kiss him for $1 million. I've done everything but kiss him for a lot less.
People will do a lot of unbelievable things for $1 million. All you have to do is pick 6 numbers. Missouri's Lotto. What are you waiting for?
Where there's smoke, there's chicken. At Jack in the Box, we slowly smoke chicken breast and carve it into tender slices. And where there's smoked chicken, there's cheddar. Natural aged melting cheddar. Then we top it with sizzling bacon, all on grilled sourdough. The new smoked chicken, cheddar, and bacon sandwich at Jack in the Box. Where there's smoked chicken, there's
This Saturday, we have a daylight 12:05 game against San Diego. Mops Cat Day. For the kids 15 and under, they'll get a replica of the Cardinals' red home cap, courtesy of Mott's and the Cardinals, this Saturday when we play the daylight game against San Diego at 12:05.
There's a comparison of the two starters. Rocha's only given up 2 hits, Shaw none. Neither one of them have given up a run. Shaw's walked 2. Rocha struck out 4, and Shaw only 1, and that was the leadoff man, Gilkey.
And it kind of looks like we have an automatic out here with Rocha leading off, although the pitcher got behind him 3-0 the last time and came back to get him on a tap back to the mound.
How did you like that style of hitting? He looked up, he looked mean and tough.
He did, didn't he?
And then he'd backpedal when the pitcher delivered the ball.
You see the bandage. They've removed the pins from that finger. Ring finger left hand. And he has it protected. Not a very good hitter to start with. He's 0 for 10. 1-1. Gilkey will follow, and then Smith. And the Cardinals have no hits. They've been given 2 walks. And Alosea was hit by a pitch.
I think Rocha's going to get the first hit of this game for the Red
Kidding me?
Sox.
You kidding me?
I like that approach to hit.
What? Step in the bucket.
Step in the bucket.
Throw the bat at the ball. Think this pitcher would walk it?
I think he might have a chance.
He might. He's trying so hard to throw strikes. 2-2. It'll be Rocha, then Gilkey, then Smith. Against the Hall of Fame pitcher, Jeff Shaw. He dropped the ball. And the count stays 2-2. Jeff used to be with the Cleveland Ball Club. Very good friends of the pitcher who was killed this spring. He strikes out Rocha. That's 5 in a row, set down, and he picks up his second strikeout. And he looks like a world beater. Here's Gilkey, 0 for 2.
I was told he was going to be under a 75 to 80 pitch count, and let's hope.
Can't take him out with a no-hitter.
Sure you can, but no, they won't.
Gilkey has 1 home run. Ball 1. Tim Laker doing the catching. They have Lansing, Cordero, DeShields, and Bolduc on the infield. Vanderwall, Alou, and Walker in the outfield. Ball 2.
Our good buddy Preston Gomez, who managed in San Diego, took out Clay Kirby with a no-hitter.
Right, yeah.
I think after 8 innings. And
people didn't like it there.
No, well, I think the reliever came in and they lost the game, and he was booed.
Well, here is Lansing. And he did get back. Good hustle by the Laker. By Laker, the catcher. Otherwise, Gilkey would have been out because he did start for second. Lansing charged with an error. The third baseman threw wide of Bolduc, who's not a very big fellow at first base.
Yeah, 2 of the smallest first basemen in the league. This is the 8th error committed by Lansing. He's really more of a middle infielder, a shortstop, second baseman, and that ball definitely could have been caught. But as you say, at this angle, now watch the throw get away from the first baseman, and watch how Gilkey almost makes a careless mistake, rounded the bag, and Laker was right there and dives for it, but he got back in.
See if Ozzie can advance it. Ball 1. I wouldn't say it was a careless mistake. He lit out. He didn't realize the catcher was hustling that much. Laker was right there and almost got the put out. Let's see if Ozzie can find a gap. They give him right center. He is 0 for 1 with a walk. Gilkey has stolen 3 bases. You say Laker's a good thrower?
Well, that's the reason why they brought him back up.
1 on, 1 out. Cardinals still have no hits. There's hitting room through the right side as Bolduc holds against Gilkey. Jeff Shaw steps off the rubber.
Say he has a pretty good changeup, and that's what Laker is calling.
Well, maybe Ozzie will pull it. There goes the runner, and he does pull it into right field. Walker's going to catch it. Still no hit. Isn't this something? Looked like he got a pitch to handle and pull, didn't he?
Well, you said he was using that heavy bat. There was a changeup out in front, and the bat swung.
Bat swung him.
Bat swung him.
And Gilkey's still at first, and still no hits. And the batter is Jeffries. He's grounded to third and grounded to short. Average down 3 points tonight. There's the first Cardinal hit by Jeffries to the opposite field. And if Ozzie could have advanced him, well, that would have been a run. But Cardinals still need something from the next hitter, Ray Langford. You think they're going to ask for the ball?
It doesn't look like it there for a minute, but Jeffries slicing the ball into left field. And the umpire called time, and I think it was Jeffries was putting on that brace to protect his left hand, but it almost appeared that the Cardinals were asking for the ball.
Yeah, they get their first hit of the night, so an error and a hit batsman sets it up for Langford, who is grounded out and walked. Cardinals need a 2-out hit here in the 6th of a scoreless game. They play straight away in the outfield. All the infielders are deep. That floater was low and away. I wonder what Ray is thinking. He's had a lot of hits up the middle lately. They have some good arms in the Montreal outfield, so Gilkey better run like heck if Langford gets a hit. Gilkey's at second, Jeffries at first, 2 out. No score, 6th inning. That one missed, and that's ball 2. There's the defense. The infielders all deep to try to knock the ball down, keep it from going through, and the outfielders straight away.
How about a repeat in the location where Jeffries got his base hit?
2 on, 2 out for Langford. He took it. He's probably looking for it in a particular location or a certain pitch. Didn't get what he wanted. 2 balls and a strike. Jeff Shaw, the pitcher. Earned run average of 3.05. Cards need the 2-out hit. Changed up and missed ball 3. Looks like he is, well, I'm wondering if he would mind very much if he lost Langford and pitched to Whitten. Kind of looks that way to me, the way he's pitching. Even though it would load the bases. Let's see if the Cardinals start the runner. Probably not. Gilkey at second, Jeffries at first, 2 out. You think they're moving? Think they're running?
I would like to see him move.
Good.
But you know, you got Langford that leads the club in strikeouts. As you mentioned, center field and right field are very good throwing arms for the Expos.
And the runners are not going. Ball 4 loads him up. Didn't it look like to you he didn't mind if he lost him there?
Well, he looked like he was very tentative. You know, they say he'll pitch inside pretty well, but he was content to stay away, and now Joe Kerrigan, the pitching coach, is going to come out and talk to him.
Base and loaded, 2 out for Mark Whitten. He's 0 for 2, lined into a double play as last time. And they play him to pull just a little bit. And they go to work down in the bullpen in the right field corner.
I mentioned that he's only making his 3rd start, and so they've got him under that pitch limit. He's got to be nearing that now, and
The runners are Gilkey, Jeffries, and Langford. Good speed on the bases. Mark Whitten at the plate. He needs a hit, a walk, an error, hit batsman, balk, foul pitch, pass ball.
Jack, that last time up,
stolen base.
He hit the ball hard.
Base hit loaded, 2 out. That one missed. Whitten and this pitcher were teammates at Cleveland. They know each other well. Base hit loaded, 2 out. It was an error, a single, and a walk. They'd have loaded them up. Ball 2. Been a long time since Whitten sent some runners home. 2 in the last 10 games. He has 23 for the year with 6 home runs. He'll be swinging. He's an aggressive player. Zeal, a right-handed batter, is up next, so you take your chances here and hope that the pitcher grooves it. You can handle it well. Pitcher and catcher talk it over.
They're going to talk it over. Jeff Facero, the former Cardinal minor league pitcher, is in the Expos bullpen. And Whitten has hit .312, 4 home runs, and 14 RBIs on the road this year. Let's add to that.
Base hit loaded, 2 out. 2 balls, no strikes. Cardinals have left 2, hit into a double play. Fastball 3. Now I suppose you make him throw a strike. Do you?
When we're not hitting and where he is slumping, I would have to take a pitch.
Yeah, I would have to take.
I'd have to take until I get that strike 1.
They can't be sure he's not swinging though. 3-0 with the bases loaded. He walked him in the Cardinals lead. A run batted in for Whitten. In his Gilkey, he reached on the error. And it's 1-0 Cardinals here in the 6th inning.
That's one way to get an RBI.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even close.
They weren't sure he wasn't swinging. The ball jumped out of the strike zone, and Zeal is up. He's lined out to left. He's grounded to third. The way Arocha is pitching, he could really make it comfortable with a little old hit here.
That was a gift run. Well, now let's make him pay a little bit. Killer instinct time.
Right, an unearned run. Zeal. Ooh, he took one down the middle. Didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Base hit loaded, 2 out. Zeal has driven in 19 runs this year. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now the lead runner is Jeffries. Base hit loaded, 2 out. No, the pitcher doesn't want to get behind again on the count. That ball is fair. Great play. I'll be darned. What a play by the third baseman. He took a double and 3 runs away from the Cardinals. I was still surprised that Zeal was out. The Cardinals lead 1-0.
You've seen it before. The ones who run with the herd, and the one who always seems to run alone. You don't see him often enough, though.
It's for the mountains of
Hey kids, on Sunday, May 30th, the Cardinals play the San Diego Padres, and all fans age 15 and under with a paid admission will receive a free 5-foot beach towel courtesy of Amoco and KMOX Radio. This handy towel features full-color caricatures of Ozzie Smith and Bob Tewksbury, painted by renowned sports artist Amity. Great for the beach or just lounging by the pool. Don't miss Amoco KMOX Beach Towel Day, Sunday, May 30th, when the Cardinals take on the San Diego Padres.
Hey, Dad, how about some money for the movies?
Sure, kid. The frosty mug taste of A&W root beer. It really brings back memories.
A quarter?
Get some popcorn, too. A&W, our frosty mug taste brings you back.
When it comes to selecting the best 4x4 around, this is what it comes down to.
Introducing the award-winning Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo. Get into one now for about $22,100.
See your local Jeep and Eagle dealer.
What a play to end the Cardinals' 6th inning by Lansing.
Well, it was his error that got the Cardinals the 1 run, but this one saves 3. What a great play, and then to stop it there and came up and fired a cannon over there to nail Zeal.
It was a gutsy play as well as a talented play. Now a strike to DeShields, who likes to bunt the ball. He is struck out and grounded out. 1-0 Cardinals in the 6th, and 1-1 to DeShields from Arocha. This fella has a little pop in his bat every once in a while. Has only 1 home run this year. He's in the hole now, 1-2. That was an astounding play. He'll keep his balance after gloving the ball. Here's one to Alisea. Throws out at first. 1 gone, and Vanderwall comes up. How long can Arocha hold him down? Folks, you can purchase tickets at participating Schnuck stores in the St. Louis area. There are 17 selected stores serving as official Cardinal ticket outlets. Find the outlet nearest you. Call 994-4544. Ball 1 to Vanderwall, Western Michigan University. Well, the Cardinals could be sitting on a 3 or 4-0 lead right now. The defensive play by Lansing turned that thing around. Here's a strike. 1-1. Rocha has no complete games this year.
In fact, these Expos have found themselves trailing in most of their games. And people say if you're going to beat them, you have to beat them in 9 innings. You can't let up the pressure.
Up the middle. That's the 3rd hit of the night. It was a nice, easy stroke by Vanderwall, wasn't it? Pitch was up, I guess.
Left-hand hitter. Strides right into the ball. Head down, watching the point of contact.
Big follow through. There's the tying run on base, and the batter is Moises Alou. He's grounded to short, and he's singled. Can't get over that last play by Lansing that ended the Cardinals' 6th. That was brilliant. Zeal needed a break. He hasn't been hitting much or driving in many runs. He was robbed. I don't think they'll get 2. They get the lead runner. Safe at first with 2 out.
And that was important to get the lead man, though.
Could hear the bat crack as Alou reaches on a fielder's choice.
Breaking ball right off the end of the bat, and batters use such light bats today that every time that ball's off the end, it snaps that bat.
Here is the most dangerous hitter in the lineup for Montreal, Larry Walker. He had 23 home runs last year. Twice he's grounded to short here tonight. Alou, a good base stealer. We're in the 6th, and it's 1-0 Cardinals. I think they're going to hang on with his 1-0 lead, Mr. Rabowski?
Yes, I do.
Outfielder is very deep and straight away with Walker up there. It's power to all fields.
Alou is 11 for 11 in stolen base attempts this year.
I think sometimes that left wrist bothers Jeffries. Kind of flinched when he caught that ball, didn't he?
Well, that's the one, you know, he's injured going into stealing.
As he gets it and goes to first as Alisea couldn't get to second. Now they leave their 4th runner, and the Cardinals still lead 1-0 after 6.
Heads, and we go back tomorrow.
Tails, we don't.
Okay, 2 out of 3.
Make our love, 'cause some days are better than others.
Recently, Southwest Airlines won the airline industry's first annual Triple Crown ever.
#1 in on-time performance, #1 in customer satisfaction, and #1 in baggage handling. Southwest Airlines, #1 and still climbing.
For the way you make me feel, for the way you give your best. You're the one, Southwest.
You know, it's always a good time to buy a case of Pennzoil, but now is a great time because you get up to $4 off of any other automotive product in this store. Pennzoil owes you one for making them America's #1 selling motor oil. So buy a case of Pennzoil and get up to $4 off of any other automotive product. That's Pennzoil's way of saying, thank you, America.
Pick up your specially marked case of Pennzoil motor oil today. Details at Jennings Auto Parts.
Around the National League, New York now leading at Philadelphia with 2 runs in the 4th inning, 2-1 Mets, and San Diego and Los Angeles a little later on. New pitcher, former Cardinal farmhand Jeff Fassero, hard-throwing left-hander, takes over for Shaw, who pitches 6 innings, allows only 1 hit, and is in line for the loss if his teammates don't come from behind.
So he was 0-1 coming into this game. He lost a 1-0 game to Tom Glavine and the Atlanta Braves. In that game, he only made 1 bad pitch. That was a home run to Ron Gant.
And Alicea will turn around and bat right-handed against Fassero. 7th inning. And that pitch right down the middle for ball 1. A small strike zone, and Jeff Shaw would verify that. The 1-0 to Alicea, left side. You know he can take care of that if he took care of the ball hit by Zeal. 1 away. Lansing taking care of himself at third base rather well, thank you very much. And Fassero gets the leadoff man.
There's also that error by Lansing on a throw which opened the gates last inning.
Here's Hector. Villanueva is 0 for 2. And his average down around the 100 mark. Looks at a strike from Fassero. There it is, 119. He has 2 home runs. 4 runs batted in. 1 ball, 1 strike. Last home run Hector hit was at home off Greg Maddux in the day game, Sunday afternoon game against the Atlanta Braves. Before that, in the first week of the season against the Cincinnati Reds. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and Villanueva backed up as he faces the left-hander Fassero. On deck is Arocha. So Fassero trying to have a quick and easy 7th inning. That'll help. Strikes out Villanueva. And we'll pause 15 seconds for station ID on the Cardinal Television Network.
For 1993, Fleer Ultra Baseball has even more gold foil stamping, dramatically improved backs, and new Ultra Hot limited edition subsets. 93 Fleer Ultra. Proof you still can't buy a better baseball card.
First pitch to Arocha is low for ball 1. 2 out, nobody on. And Fassero should cruise right through this 7th inning. He got Alicea on a ground ball to third. He struck out Villanueva, who's 0 for 3. And he has Arocha at 1 and 2. Outfield very shallow and pulled around to the right in case Arocha makes contact.
I think Arocha is trying to make sure he gives the pitcher equal opportunity, so he doesn't mind taking pitches.
And he strikes out. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Fassero. Time to stretch here in Montreal.
You know, working at AutoZone is more than looking up parts or ringing up sales. Most of all, it's listening. Because my customers know more about their cars than I'll ever know. They know every rattle by heart. I mean, that car is their baby. So when they've got a problem they're going to fix for themselves, I'm going to do my best to help them get whatever they need, no matter what it takes. Because people like that, they don't deserve anything less than the best I can give them.
I've always been a civic-minded person, but no more.
Sadly, I bought a Civic instead of a Mazda Protege. Then I found out the Protege has a bigger engine, more room, and a better basic warranty. And I could have gotten $1,250 cash back plus air conditioning at no extra charge. Hey, if you want just any car, Honda's fine. If you want a great car and a great deal, go see your Mazda dealer.
Save $2,090 on Protege at your Greater St. Louis Mazda dealer now.
Schnucks has a great lineup of savings for you today. Here's the windup and the pitch.
Malt's barbecue sauce, 2 for $3.
Next on deck,
Eagle chips, on sale, half price.
and a double play.
Ortega sauces, buy one, get one free.
And here's Schnucks' designated hitter.
Pride of the Farm whole pork butts, 88 cents a pound.
Make a short stop to Schnucks, your savings store.
When you're thirsty, you need a diet squirt. Because there's nothing like our refreshing blend of citrus flavors. Give your thirst a diet squirt.
If you want a beach towel, go to the game. On Sunday, May 30th, the Cardinals will host the Padres, and it's Amico Camo X Beach Towel Day at the ballpark. All paying fans 15 and under receive a 5-foot beach towel courtesy of Amico and Camo X. That's on Sunday, May 30th. The Cards host the Padres. Joe Torre wondering when his offense will break out of this slump. There's a look at that beach towel.
I thought that was his offense.
Well, you got the offensive-minded Bob Tewksbury and Ozzie Smith on there.
Hey, I don't mind if we end up winning this game 1-0.
Here is Bolick. Looks at a strike and now one a little low. 1 ball, 1 strike, and Arocha getting along very well here. Bolick, Cordero, and Lansing coming up for the Expos here in the 7th inning. Not much of a swing, and that's strike 2. For as little as the Cardinals have hit in this game, Montreal not much better. They have 3 singles. They've been helped out a little bit by an error to move a runner into scoring position, but did nothing with that.
And remember, these Expos are tied for 3rd in the National League in offense with a .270 average.
And that is strikeout number 5 for Rene Arocha. Arocha kept that ball away from Bolick and K'd him.
Backdoor breaking ball and gets him.
Man, he is so impressive.
And look at him. He hadn't even broke a sweat yet today. And I said, you know, I called him 28 years old earlier. He's 27.
Ground ball foul outside 3rd. You know, another thing when you look at Arocha and that shot that we had, his concentration is so strong. I mean, he knows exactly what he wants to do. Not a lot of wasted motion out there on the mound. He gets the ball right back and goes right back on top and fires another one home. And he has such a good idea of how to move the ball in and out and get these big league hitters.
I mean, he's just a pleasure to watch because he'll put on a little bit of a clinic.
See him trying to make Cordero chase that pitch. And the count is a ball and a strike. One out, nobody on. Bottom of the 7th inning. That's strike 2. Rene coming off a no decision. A game the Cardinals eventually lost at home to the Cubs. Rene was good in that game, but not like this. This is as good as it gets. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Cordero. Lansing up next. And we'll see him now as Cordero grounds out to Alicea. 2 gone. Let's take a look at our scouting report.
Well, it's really a defensive alignment of how we want to play people. Now it says Lansing is 3rd from the bottom. He's coming up. It says bunch him. And this is just a summary of taking off the charts where they use a pencil for each and every different pitcher and show where on the diamond they hit the ball, their tendency to hit the ball.
Lansing looks at a strike.
Of course, you're using sort of a general overview when you have Arocha on the mound because he has never faced these batters. Now they'll have a better and more consistent idea when Tewksbury's pitching, because he's pitched to some of them a little more frequently the last couple of years.
Arocha just bounced one in there, and just as he was about to deliver the ball, a firecracker or something, a pop gun went off in the background, and he looked like he was thrown off balance by that. 2-1 the count, 2 out, nobody on, and Arocha trying to have a 1-2-3 7th inning.
You know, I really doubt that he would have been, because I think his concentration is so strong that he's just kind of focused right in there. He doesn't hear anything surrounding him.
Well, it's time for him to get to first base, and now time for him to head to the dugout and get some rest. That'll do it for the first 7 here in Quebec. Cardinals on top, 1-0.
Recently, Southwest Airlines won the airline industry's first annual Triple Crown ever. #1 in on-time performance, #1 in customer satisfaction, and #1 in baggage handling. Southwest Airlines, #1 and still climbing.
For the way you make me feel, for the way you give your best, you're the one, Southwest.
Where are the drivers of these cars? Where is the crew of this boat? Where have all the flour sellers gone? Could it be the whole nation is having a Big Mac attack?
Yes, because for a limited time you can get 2 Big Mac sandwiches for $2 or 2 Egg McMuffin sandwiches for $2. It's Big Mac's 25th anniversary.
What you want is what you get at McDonald's today.
Where is the spokesman for this commercial?
Its design and performance are unsurpassed. Best of all, it saves up to 40% on energy. It's the high-efficiency Lennox Dimension heat pump.
Quality proven over time is what you'll get at Morgner. For over 25 years, St. Louis has relied on Morgner for their heating and cooling needs. For over 20 years, Reliable Heating and Cooling has provided reliable service and installations. Call Ken and his men today.
The Lennox high-efficiency electric heat pump, the air conditioner that also heats.
A deadly game of psychological warfare puts an innocent woman in an asylum. She will not come out alive. And Kane on the wrong side of a straitjacket. The girl dies tonight. On the next Kung Fu, the legend continues.
Wednesday at 8 on St. Louis 11.
8th inning, Cards out in front, 1-0 behind Rene Arocha, who has a chance to take it easy now on the bench. See that bad ring finger on his left hand, but that does not seem to bother him at all.
Couldn't hit before, still can't hit, but he can pitch.
Gilkey to lead it off, and Ozzie, then Jeffries against the left-hander Facero, and a good fastball for strike 1. Gilkey is 0 for 3, but he did reach on an error and score the only run of the evening his last time up. That was in the 6th. Now we're in the 8th. And now Gilkey's in the hole, 0-2.
You know, one thing about Facero, they were saying that he really hasn't thrown that well, and I guess looking at his numbers are not that bad, but the one thing is that he has allowed 14 runs in 23 innings coming in tonight. 8 of them were earned runs, so there were 6 unearned runs when he was pitching. Hasn't shown the ability to pitch around errors.
Gilkey leading off. The Cards would like to add to their lead for Arocha. Ooh, analyzing pitch, missed low, 2-2. I happened to broadcast for Louisville when Facero was with the Redbirds, and he could always throw as hard as anybody on the club, but he had such a problem with control. Those problems are gone now as Gilkey stays alive and the count stays 2-2. If he can get the ball over the plate and keep it down, he's one of the better setup men in the game today.
You know, I remember a lot of people said that I guess somewhere between AA and AAA, they thought he added quite a bit of oomph on his fastball, a few miles per hour more.
Just could not harness it. Back in '89 with the Louisville Redbirds, and the Expos signed him as a 6-year minor league free agent. What a great move for them. It really paid off. Really been the only solid left-hander they've had in their pen over the past couple of seasons. Gilkey strikes out for the 2nd time tonight, and that's now 3 strikeouts in 4 batters faced by Facero.
Gilkey gives up on the breaking ball, and it hits the outside corner. He thought it was going to be away, and he can't believe, but Randy Marsh says, yep.
Now Ozzie. Ozzie's drawn a walk, grounded out to second, fly to right, and his average below the 250 mark. Lamb to go the other way in the outfield against this hard thrower, Facero. 2-0. There's a look at the defensive alignment. They give him a lot of left center and all of the left field line if Ozzie can pull this hard thrower. Jeff Facero, nickname is Face. And Ozzie does pull it, but right to Lansing, another fine play, 2 out. I've seen enough. The guy can play third.
And they actually say that third is probably his worst of the 3 middle infield positions. But he has a pretty darn good arm once he lets go of it. Of course, that arm got him in trouble in the 6th inning where he committed an error against Gilkey, who eventually came around to score this lone run, but that defense also saved 3 more.
Later on a ball hit right down the line by Zeal, and as you saw in the replay, Lansing ended up in the third base coach's box. He was a good way foul when he came up and threw Zeal out. Here's Jeffries, who has the only Cardinal hit tonight. 1 ball, 1 strike, and that hit helped the Cardinals score in the 6th inning. Cardinals score the run on a bases-loaded walk.
And you remember, Joe, if that error would not have committed, Jeffries wouldn't have got up in that inning.
That's for sure. An unearned run scored against Jeff Shaw. Right now, Shaw is in line to be the loser if his team cannot come from behind in this one. The 2-1 to Jeffries, who has hit 6 home runs. Easy for DeShields. The Cardinals haven't done much hitting here tonight, but the good news is into the bottom of the 8th inning we go, and the Cardinals do have the lead over Montreal, 1-0.
How do you improve on 92's best baseball cards? You give them the same UV treatment, then add even more gold foil stamping. You dramatically improve the backs and set new standards for limited edition subsets with more intense action, higher impact design, electrifying graphics, and foil stamping on both sides. 93 Fleer Ultra. Proof you still can't buy a better baseball card.
Baby Ruth, Baby Ruth. My baby isn't beautiful, it looks so not divine, but if it didn't look so funky, well, it wouldn't taste so fine. Baby Ruth, if it didn't look so funky, it wouldn't taste so fine. Yo! Baby! Come on with your peanuts. Well, it's all the stuff I crave. They make it lumpy, make it bumpy. Oh, but they make it my fave. Baby Ruth, if it didn't look so funky, it wouldn't taste so fine. Baby Ruth, Baby Ruth. Yo!
Hey kids, on Sunday, May 30th, the Cardinals play the San Diego Padres, and all fans age 15 and under with a paid admission will receive a free 5-foot beach towel courtesy of Amoco and KMOX Radio. This handy towel features full-color caricatures of Ozzie Smith and Bob Tewksbury, painted by renowned sports artist Amity. Great for the beach or just lounging by the pool. Don't miss Amoco KMOX Beach Towel Day, Sunday, May 30th, when the Cardinals take on the San Diego Padres.
Rene Arocha into the bottom of the 8th inning. It's been all Arocha here tonight. Not much of a story other than the fact that Arocha has shut down the Expos. No runs on 3 hits through 7. And leading off the 8th inning will be a pinch hitter, Lou Frazier. And isn't this neat for this young man? Lives in St. Louis. Went to Jennings High School. And he can fly. He's tough if he gets on base. He looks at ball 1.
He has totaled 342 career stolen bases in 7 minor league seasons. So you want to keep him off the bases.
He's up pinch hitting for Tim Laker. And then we'll get another pinch hitter. Fletcher will bat for Facero after Frazier does something. So 2 pinch hitters at the beginning of this 8th inning, and then DeShields. 2-1 on Lou Frazier.
You know, I'll tell you something about Arocha. In between innings, he was the first person, the first player for the Cardinals out on the field. He couldn't wait to get back on the mound.
That's not good. Leadoff hit for Frazier up the middle. And look at him go around first base, man. He is he is jumped up, man. He is able to fly, and it's going to be interesting to see what he does here in the 8th inning, because you know one thing, he's going to run. So Frazier is on, and he will be off to the races during this at bat by Fletcher.
And you know, Frazier is now batting .600 as a pinch hitter, 6 for 10.
And a ball as the Cardinals have their infield moving all over the place as they half expect Fletcher to bunt.
Excuse me, it's 3 for 12. Marty up here is giving me wrong information. Aaron Fletcher is 5 for 9, including a home run, pinch hitting.
And they have him bunting, and the only play is to first. Out there, sacrifice good, 1-4. Moving Frazier down to second base. He's there with 1 out. He's the tying run. And we'll take another look at that good bunt by Darren Fletcher.
Yeah, he's a catcher by trade, but he gets the bat out there, and Arocha almost handcuffed it. Or handcuffed Alisea. I think that's what Louis is telling him. And look at Joel Coleman. Settle down, settle down.
Cardinals start to loosen 2 pitchers in their bullpen. Mike Perez, a right-hander. Left-hander Rob Murphy. As Arocha will be talked to by Hector, who will act as the translator here as Joe Coleman is out to talk to Hector and Renee.
And Louis wasn't sure if Hector would interpret correctly, so he got his 2 cents in. You know, really, Arocha is picking up a lot more English. His wife is Cuban-born, but she speaks perfect and fluent English, and she is helping him daily, and you can see the progress he is making.
That can make a big difference over the course of a career in the big leagues. Here's DeShields. Runner at second, 1 out. Cardinals leading 1-0 here in the 8th inning. Delino tonight is 0 for 3. He struck out and grounded out twice. On deck is a left-handed batter, John Vanderwall. And Arocha a little preoccupied with Frazier out at second base. He's taking his time and getting the ball up there to DeShields. 1 on, 1 out. 2-0. Defensively, they're shortened up a little bit, but pretty much straight away for DeShields, who can spray the ball around the park. And the infield is back. Runner at second, 1 out. And now Arocha has to throw a strike. And he does. 2-1. John Wetland takes over for Rojas in the Montreal bullpen. So Felipe Alou feeling good about this 8th inning. Wetland is their closer. Three and 1 now on to Shields. Will either come to him or put him on, and it will be interesting to see what Joe Torre would do after that. Left-hander coming up. Murphy getting ready in the bullpen.
I've got to stick with Arocha, and he's getting a lot of ground balls.
First things first, he's trying to get to Shields. And he got it by him upstairs.
The ball is upstairs, and he throws it by him.
Delino maybe a little over anxious.
Yeah, he missed by quite a ways, uppercutting.
A walk will put DeShields on. 2 on with 1 out for Vanderwall, who was 1 for 3.
First walk tonight, only the 4th walk all season allowed by Arocha. We're talking 39 innings pitched.
So now the Expos have the tying run on at second. The go-ahead run at first. 1 out in the inning here in the 8th. Frazier can fly at second base, so any hit out of the infield would likely tie the game. 2 on, 1 out. Oh, what a bad break. Alisea keeps the ball on the infield, and that'll load the bases. Jeffries was to the line. And when the ball struck the bag, it came up, and credit Alicea. He got over to it. He booted it a little bit, but good base running by Frazier. He'll stop at third, and that loads the bases.
Watch right there. Hits the bag. And watch Alicea, because he thinks he can still beat him to the bag, but it eluded him a little bit. Right to Jeffries. Now Jeffries has got Frazier zeroed in. He crosses the bag here at third, and then he picks up the ball. Jeffries at this point had the ball and had him in his gun sights.
There's Frazier at third with the Shields at second, and on at first with that infield hit, Vanderwall. And Arocha will stay in the game with the bases loaded, 1 out, and face the right-handed hitting Moises Alou, who is 1 for 3 and one of the league's leading hitters.
Boy, he has great running speed, and you still have to play your middle infielders at double play depth.
Bases loaded, 1 out. And Wetland getting ready in the Montreal bullpen. This all started with a leadoff hit by the pinch hitter, Frazier.
Alou has great speed, and twice he's hit balls on the infield that they were able to get a out, but they couldn't complete a double play because of his speed.
Arocha has struck out 5. He like number 6 right here. 1-0 the count, however. That's a foul ball, and it will drift out of play for strike 1.
Good pitch, though. He had him way off balance, reaching. Took all the power out of his swing.
Sac fly would tie it. A base hit might give the Expos the lead. They have the bases loaded, 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th inning with the Cardinals out in front 1-0 behind Arocha. A tight spot for Rene as he faces Alou. He stands in there with an average of .342, 3 home runs and 22 runs batted in.
And .350 off the right-handed pitchers.
Strike 2. Good fastball, and it looked like Alou was looking for something other than the number 1.
You're right. He was looking for something else, and he gets this pitch down. And that changes the complexion here. Now he's hitting in a defensive posture with 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Breaking ball into center. That should tie it. Langford's throw properly to the second base bag. Frazier scores, and we're tied at 1.
Tough break right there. It was a bad pitch. It was a hanging breaking ball, and we haven't seen much of those at all tonight, and it came at the wrong time. And now Joe Torre is going to make his, watch this, breaking ball just hangs right up there for Lou. That's when he really wanted to break one off and keep it away. And easily, Frazier comes across to tie the score at 1.
And that'll be all for Rene Arocha. He did everything he could. 1 run on 5 hits. He leaves with 2 men on, 2 out. And with the left-handed batter Larry Walker coming up, Joe Torre will go to the bullpen and call on Rob Murphy. Tough break, Rene. You did everything you could. Here in the bottom of the 8th, we're tied 1-1.
At Ted Drew's, we have the perfect dessert. In the mood for something new? Try the camouflage. Oreos in marshmallow sauce. It's terrific. Or how about the taste of the old country with that tiramisu, the pistachio nuts, and that incredible hot chocolate sauce. Or travel down memory lane with the all shook up bananas and peanut butter cookies, just like Mom used to make, but better. Our desserts are so good they speak for themselves.
It really is good, guys.
Ted Drew's on Chippewa and South Grand.
What would you do for $1 million?
I'd probably eat my socks.
I would eat cockroaches, grasshoppers, grub worms, spider that wiggles. I hate bugs.
100 tamales without taking off the husks.
I mean, wouldn't anybody about do anything for $1 million?
Yeah, I'd kiss him for $1 million. I've done everything but kiss him for a lot less.
People will do a lot of unbelievable things for $1 million. All you have to do is pick 6 numbers. Missouri's Lotto. What are you waiting for?
We're in the bottom of the 8th. 2 on, 2 out. Tie game now. 1-1. And Rob Murphy takes over. The left-hander has been throwing well, but he's going to have a tough opponent. Left-handed hitting Larry Walker.
This is 22nd game, 3.32 ERA. He's pitched total 19 innings. He's walked 8, struck out 13, and opponents are batting .246 against him. Boy, you just can't say enough about Arocha's pitching there, and one of the very few pitches that he really didn't execute on was that sacrifice fly to Alou.
There's Rene. He did everything he could, man. I'm telling you, he can't throw any better than that.
Well, once again, when you're not hitting, you don't give there's not a margin for error. There's not one for Arocha when you're protecting a 1-0 lead in the 8th inning, and now Murphy has absolutely zero margin of error. Does have a base open, he just happens to be third. And one of the better all-around players in the National League.
Boy, he's good. Larry Walker, you don't keep him hitless very often. 0 for 3. Now he faces a left-hander, Murphy, and left-handers do not bother Larry Walker.
No, he just plays every day against all types of pitching. And this guy is one of the best unknown sleepers in the game.
One pitch, and Murphy gets out of the tough jam. Ground ball to second, and Walker is 0 for 4 tonight. That'll do it for the first 8. Way to go, Rene. Into the 9th, we're tied 1-1.
All-Pro quarterback Dan Marino.
When the game is over and the pain starts, I want 2 things from my pain-relieving rub: fast relief and no odor. So I use Sports Cream, a strong pain-relieving rub that doesn't make me smell like a medicine chest. I just massage in Sports Cream for fast, odor-free relief. Cream or lotion, Sports Cream sure gets my vote for fast relief and no odor.
As she was leaving, suitcase in one hand, little Tommy in the other, she looked back and said, "You can keep the caravan." If only I'd gotten a Mazda MPV with an available V6, a swing-out side door, and a 3-year, 50,000-mile warranty, plus 1,500 cash back from Mazda. We're back together, but we're seeing someone, a Mazda dealer. I recommend you do the same.
Save $1,500 on MPV at your Greater St. Louis Mazda dealer now.
Well, our Busch Beer game summary, not much to it. We're 1-1 in the 9th inning. Rene Arocha only allowed 6 balls hit into the outfield, but the Cardinals offensively 1 run on only 1 hit. This game summary brought to you by Busch Beer, smooth as a mountain stream. Head for the mountains of Busch.
Well, neither one of the starters deserved to lose this game, and both of them you can make a strong argument that they deserve to win it. Neither one will as we go into the 9th inning. And it's turned over to the bullpen. And Wetland is their closer, making his 16th appearance. He's 2-0, 2.70 ERA, and he has 6 saves.
Frazier takes over in left field. He scored the tying run after leading off the 8th inning with a base hit. And the new catcher is Fletcher. And there's a look at Mr. Fletcher, who delivered a sacrifice bunt to help the Expos score that run in their half of the 8th. We're in the 9th, 1-1 the score. Langford starts it with a hit into right center field, and that's trouble. Extra bases for Ray. Into second, he's going to try for 3. Here's the throw, too late. A leadoff triple for Langford, who almost overslid the bag. But the key play there, Al, is that DeShields, who was the cutoff man, had to reach and was off balance on the relay throw. A loose throw to him was a little off the line.
Well, let's start with a hit. Pitch down and in. Left-handers like that pitch. Goes all the way to the wall. The center fielder, Alou, hits the cutoff man. And there you see. Look at that off-balance throw. and you can't get anything on it. He's a great athletic performer, but you don't get much on that throw, and Langford's leadoff trouble looks good now. Wow.
Not after that swing.
No, well, I mean, Mark Whitten has never seen John Wetland, who can run it up there with good velocity, but he also has a very good breaking ball.
Lee Smith might get a chance to save another. Or should I say, another chance to save again. He's just happy to be out of Pittsburgh.
Did you think that he'd go the rest of the season without getting another opportunity?
Heck no. He's the best in the history of baseball. Maybe he'll get a chance. It's up to Whitten, Zeal, and Alicea to give him the lead. And that could make a winner out of Rob Murphy in relief of Rene Arocha. 1 ball, 1 strike. I'm sure everybody telling Whitten, boy, this guy throws hard. This guy throws hard. The first 2 pitches, breaking balls. First, he took a cut at and missed. That won't do the job. 1 out. And Whitten is really struggling. It's up to Zeal. Runner at third, 1 away.
Well, they have the infield in, and of course, see Whitten reaching for the ball, and obviously he was told not to go on contact, had to go through, and so it was an easy play for Langford to make that decision not to come in.
Zeal is hit into some tough luck here this evening. He's lined out to left, and with the bases loaded and 2 out, he hit the ball down the third baseline, only to be robbed by Mike Lansing. Infield in, 1 out, and Zeal takes ball 1. On deck is Louis Alicea. With Langford at third, 1 out, and the Cardinals trying to regain their 1-run lead here in the 9th inning now.
And if the Cardinals do not go ahead here, Mike Perez is now throwing alongside with Lee Smith.
Langford with a leadoff triple. Whitten grounded out to second. And now Zeal could give the Cardinals the lead. Can he? Good pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike. Man, the bottom fell out of that pitch, didn't it?
John Wetland, saw him a few times he was a starter, you know, with the Dodgers before they moved him into the bullpen, and he's emerging as one of the best closers. He's got that type of temperament.
Zeal takes strike 2 over the inside corner, and that was a pitch that Todd would like to have back. Is it going to be another one of those nights? Langford at third, 1 out. Ooh, look out over there. Check swing, foul ball. By the way, Philadelphia now regains the lead at home over the Mets 4-2 in the 6th inning. They're probably happy to see the Cardinals and the Expos battling here. Cardinals go ahead run 90 feet away. There's a situation. Langford at third, 1 out for Zeal.
Right.
1 and 2 the count.
Come up and in on him with a fastball.
Count stays 1 and 2.
Really didn't get that fastball where they want it, but Todd couldn't get around on it. Darren Fletcher now behind the plate for the Expos closer, Wetland. And looks like call for the slider.
The 1-2 pitch got him. Been a frustrating night for Zeal, and we'll take a look at that entire sequence there. Low and away.
Boy, he just wraps that ball and gets right on top, and a good breaking ball and a very defensive swing by Todd.
How do you pitch around a leadoff triple? Get a weak ground ball, a strikeout, and now we'll see what he does with Alicea. Cardinals still have a chance. Runner at third, 2 out.
I was looking at little Louis. Came into tonight's action. 393 and 6 RBIs on the road. He has 9 RBIs on the year. But he is also old for his last 14. Good way to break out here. Game-winning hit.
It's 2-0 with Villanueva on deck. Wetland might not mind putting Alicea on. Langford a leadoff triple, and he hasn't budged. Witten and Zeal couldn't bring him home. And it's 3-0 on Alicea, and you can kind of gather that Wetland doesn't mind at all putting Alicea on base.
Well, you know, you really can't think that way because you're not going to face Villanueva. I would be shocked if Joe Torre did not send up a pinch hitter.
Swinging on 3-0. Louis fouls it away. It's going to take a hit here or something out of the ordinary if the Cardinals are going to score a run. This game has been rather ordinary. Cardinals 1 run on 2 hits.
Joe, you really want to be hitting ahead of the count on Wetland. You don't want to be behind when he throw that breaking pitch.
3-1 to Alicea. 3-2, and Louis fisted that ball foul. There's no doubt, Al, that Wetland has terrific stuff. We saw it in that at bat by Zeal, and now Fletcher out. What do you think? Telling him, don't worry if you don't be too fine here.
No, you know what he told him right there is, he says, Joy, you got a good fastball right now. You're throwing a few of them to him, but if you go to the breaking ball, that, you know, he wanted to know if he wanted to go to the breaking ball. He says, no, let's go right after him with a fastball.
3-2 pitch. Louis stays alive. Potential winning run at third, 2 out. He was there with nobody out. Expos brought the infield in. It paid off on the at bat to Witten, and Zeal struck out.
Keep on throwing that fastball to Louis, and I like our chances.
Langford at third, 2 out. Tie game, 9th inning.
Here's the breaking ball. Here's the curveball. How do you lay off that pitch? That's what I'm saying. Good bat. Good at bat for Louis. He kept on getting the fastball, so finally they said, well, let's tantalize him with a breaking ball, and he laid off it.
It's a heck of a pitch by Wetland.
But see, that's why I'm saying, you know, that's why you want to be hitting ahead in the count, because when you have to protect the plate and he's throwing those pitches off the plate, it makes for a bad combination.
Well, that'll bring in Gerald Perry to pinch hit for Hector Villanueva. Villanueva, while he was in there 0 for 3. Perry has had a nice road trip so far. Delivered the game-winning hit in Pittsburgh on Friday night in the 11th inning. And yesterday, pinch hit in the 9th inning. Led off with a walk, stole a base, and scored the tying run.
Gerald was one of my batting practice. And he's going to do something positive here today.
Joe Kerrigan, the pitching coach, out to talk to not only Wetland, but the entire Expo organization as they meet on the mound. They're 2 out, runner at first and third. What's this conversation about?
Well, he's telling them about that we're probably going to do a 2-out squeeze here.
That's what I mean.
I mean, what? Yeah, I agree with you. Go after him. You know, don't even worry about what's going out there. Joe Torre says, I'm just sending up my best pitch hitter. You know, there's nothing tricky here.
Langford with a leadoff triple. Alicea drew a 2-out walk. Perry, can he come through again? This might be Gerald's road trip. First and third, 2 out. And ball 1. By the way, Rod Brewer is in the on-deck circle if the inning continues past Perry. Brewer would bat for Murphy. Perry now is hitting for Villanueva. First and third, 2 out. 1 ball, 1 strike, and Perry was late with that swing.
Gerald getting up there a little bit. It's a little tardy on those overpowering fastballs, but he's also a veteran. He won't swing it too many off the plate, and the more they throw him, the more he'll get his timing down.
2-1 to Gerald. Perry came to the park early, as Al was talking to you about. Took extra batting practice. Let's see if it pays off here.
And get the curveball.
It froze Perry. 2-2. What a pretty pitch by Wetland.
Well, you can't look fastball and adjust to the breaking ball, or the other side, really. I mean, you get that breaking ball, you kind of just try to get a little piece of it. But if you're looking curveball, you can't get around on his fastball.
Struck him out, and the Cardinals waste a leadoff triple. It's one of those trips. Bottom of the 9th inning. We're tied at 1.
Why use Valvoline motor oil? It's the #1 choice of Indy 500 chief mechanics, Daytona 500 chief mechanics, NHRA mechanics, and Baja 1000 mechanics. For use in their race cars and in their own cars. Any more questions? People who know use Valvoline.
Dobbs Auto Centers presents things you can depend on. First, the fire department, always there in a jiffy. And second, Dobbs. Right now, you can get a lube, oil, and filter change at Dobbs for just $15.55, including Valvoline rebate. You can also register to win a trip to the 1994 Indy 500, plus $5,000 in cash, and save up to 25% on high-performance Goodyear Eagles. One of 30 convenient Dobbs locations is near you. So remember,
Depend on Dobbs.
And on the fire department.
Where there's smoke, there's chicken. At Jack in the Box, we slowly smoke chicken breast and carve it into tender slices. And where there's smoked chicken, there's cheddar. Natural aged melting cheddar. Then we top it with sizzling bacon, all on grilled sourdough. The new smoked chicken, cheddar, and bacon sandwich at Jack in the Box. Where there's smoked chicken, there's
We're into the bottom of the 9th inning, still tied at 1. Wetland gave up a leadoff triple, but got out of it by striking out Gerald Perry.
Gerald just doesn't catch up with that fastball upstairs, and he is a high fastball hitter. Ray Langford to start off with the inning with the triple, and he turned around and went to center field, but Mike Perez will come in now, appearing in his 23rd game. He has 3 wins and 5 decisions, ERA just under 3. And he picked up 2 big Cardinal saves in the weekend series with the Pirates.
New catcher is Eric Pappas. He'll take over and bat 9th, which means he will lead off in the 10th inning if we get there, and hopefully we will. Bolick is at the plate leading off. And an easy out to left. Who wants it? Ray wants it. 1 out. 1 pitch, 1 out for Miguel Perez. That'll bring in Will Cordero. Perez, a terrific approach to this game, a great attitude, and as you said, Al, he's been very valuable on this road trip. He has 2 saves, and the Cardinals have 2 extra inning victories on this trip, and it's going to have to be a 3rd extra inning victory if the Cardinals are going to pull one out here tonight in Montreal. Cordero looks at strike 1. This game took an about face, or at least really changed when Lansing made that diving stop with the bases loaded and 2 out on the ball hit by Zeal. That kept the Expos in the game. Otherwise, you hand Arocha a 3 or 4 run lead and kiss it goodbye.
Well, you and I were remarking the tough play in that inning where the Expos scored the run was the base hit that hit the first base bag. If it doesn't hit the bag, Jeffries was right there to field it. And
2 out.
And Alou never would have gotten to the plate with a sacrifice fly. Or he would have gotten to the plate and made the 3rd out.
Perez had Cordero reaching, and the count stays 1-2. Well, we were rolling right along through this one at the Big O, but it looks like we're headed for extra innings. Let's hope. Cordero up now and Lansing up next.
1 ball, 2 strikes, fastball inside.
And a check swing ball right back to Perez. Cordero had no idea where that ball was. Now he does, and he knows he's out. 2 gone.
And they try and get in on him. Want it inside. Pappas steps there. And it comes in. And it didn't get a full swing. Mike Perez has done his job with the first 2 batters here in the 9th.
Now Lansing up. Mike has been brilliant defensively. Not only robbing Zeal in that inning where the Cardinals scored their run in the 6th, but also a fine play diving on a ball hit by Ozzie in the 8th. Boy, Perez is just pumping him in. He's ahead of the count, 0-2.
Just a machine.
La machine.
0-2. Let's see if there's not the. They're going to spot the ball down the way.
And Lansing stays alive. This little guy has hit 3 home runs, Mike Lansing, and Perez, even though it was 0-2, made that one pretty good.
Well, he just didn't get it where he wanted it, but he couldn't get around on it. The key was that it was up and away. There you see the good breaking ball down and away, and that's where they wanted it. You know, waste something there, try and get the hitter to go after it. Joe Coleman was making the point that, you know, sometimes when you want to pitch away, sure you'd like to get it away, but make sure it is away, whether it's up or down isn't that important.
And again, Perez misses low and away. It's 2-2. On deck is Frazier, who started that rally for the Expos in the 8th inning. Full count.
It went from 0-2 to now it's a full count. And you just have to like the story of Mike Lansing.
There's a hit into right. Nice play by Witten to cut it off. A 2-out single for Lansing, and that'll bring in Frazier. Well, never easy.
Well, I would much rather to see Mike Perez throw that single to Lansing here than walking. He had the full count, pitch was up, out over the middle of the plate, hits in the right field. There you say, a good play by Witten, so it didn't bounce and get away from him.
Got Frazier up now, and then a little more dangerous hitter, Fletcher, although Frazier does have a hit in his only trip to the plate here tonight, leading off the 8th inning. And he scored the Expos run. Cardinals had a heck of a chance in the top of this 9th inning to take the lead, but couldn't do it. Hello. Almost had him leaning, almost picked him off. Lansing took a full step to his right, but got back in time as Perez flipped the ball over to first. He gives Lansing a good move there. Might be out of the 9th inning. Perez worrying about Lansing, and they do some running. That's the style of manager that Felipe Alou is. He's a very aggressive manager.
And you know, you've got Frazier, who is your prototype leadoff man.
And a singles hitter.
And a singles hitter. So, you know, even if you were to get your runner thrown out, it wouldn't be a bad move. Lansing is 2 for 2 in stolen bases.
Pretty close there again. And we still await the first toss to Frazier.
Lou Brock was in uniform before the game. He's been working with these Expos on base stealing and base running in general.
Montreal leads the National League in stolen bases
by a considerable amount over San Francisco, 11.
And the Cardinals are even on that list because they have been doing a lot more running lately. Got off to a slow start. 2 out, a runner at first. Frazier looks at a strike. Mentioned earlier that this Frazier played his high school ball at St. Louis at Jennings High School. 28-year-old outfielder. Bouncing around the minor leagues for a while, but getting a chance with this Montreal team.
And you're right, Joe. He can run.
Long time in between pitches to Frazier.
But Perez is staying active, throwing to first.
Staying loose.
The batter is the one that kind of gets lulled to sleep, as well as the infielders.
0-1 the count. Ball gets away from Pappas for ball 1, and now Eric wants to talk to his pitcher Perez. Probably saying he got 2 out, get the hitter.
Well, he might have almost, I think he threw him a pitch he was not looking for, didn't call. Nothing tricky about the signals, but sometimes at night certain pitchers don't see them. Now 1-1. That's one of the running counts.
To third, off Zeal's glove, and that'll be a hit. And we'll send the other runner to third. They're going to bring him home. Here's the throw by Gilkey. See ya. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. The third base coach is Jerry Manuel, and how he sent Lansing there, can't understand. We're going to extra innings, tied 1-1.
Come on, Bubba. I know you're in there.
Someday.
You're not Bubba.
Some days.
All right, one more cast and I'm out of here.
They go loco some days. Bubba! Are better than others.
For years now, Mr. Krylon Spray Paint's been showing you how to get a professional finish, while I've been taking to the cleaners. Well, no more. Krylon's easy. Go play with your tarantula. I'll spray it here, the other leading brand there. Krylon's smooth, no runs, no drips, no airs, and dries to the touch in 12 minutes. The other brand's tacky.
Hey, Bob.
Have a seat.
Hey, great, thanks, sir.
How you doing?
Good. I gotta go spray paint.
Don't get any paint on you.
Now, for a limited time, get $3 back on Rust Tough from Krylon at participating retailers.
You know, it's hard to believe what some people will do to get a little extra money. Hey, there really is a much easier way. Getting a loan from Boatman's. Here's what you do. It's very simple. Just give them a call. They take down a little information, and then they call you back. Pretty simple, huh?
I think I found some money.
You found my money.
Huh?
I said get a loan. It's a lot easier. Boatman's Loans. As easy as 1, 2, 3.
Ow!
Let's take a look at that play. This runner starts out at first base, and this ball stays very close to the infield.
Can you imagine? He's got to be wondering what in the world happened when he goes by his back, because he was watching it all the way. He probably couldn't believe it that the third base coach gave him the go sign. He puts his head down, and look at this. He goes, well, I guess I'll try and run into him, but he runs right into an out. His third base coach, Manuel, sends him in kind of a very unusual situation, sent him right into running into an out.
Take one more look, and we know that this is a good, young, aggressive team, but you have to draw the line somewhere. This ball could have been 10 feet up the line either way, and runner's still out. Jerry Manuel, an aggressive third base coach, and he sent the runner, and he leaves Fletcher in the on-deck circle, and we head to extra innings. A number of changes on the mound for Montreal as we go to the 10th, tied 1-1, is Mel Rojas. Our throwing right-hander takes over for Wetland, who goes 1 inning, allows no runs on 1 hit, struck out 2 and walked 1. They bring in Sean Berry to play third base. He takes over defensively, and Greg Colbran takes over at first as you look at the numbers on Mel Rojas.
I guess these guys can only go 9 innings. They're position players. Most people try and conserve your bench when you go into extra innings.
This is the 4th pitcher of the evening for Felipe Alou. Here's Eric Pappas, his first at bat. Took over defensively in the 9th inning. Hits the ball hard, but right at Cordero. Nice play. Good throw. 1 out. Boy, Pappas hits the ball hard, it seems, every time up. And that'll be the first out. Nobody on, and Rojas will now face a familiar face, Bernard Gilkey. Bernie is 0 for 4 tonight. Gilkey has struck out twice, reached on an error and scored, and grounded out. Gilkey trying to get on in front of Ozzie, who waits on deck. And he does. Base hit to left. Gilkey gets on the board with his first hit of the evening. And that'll bring in Ozzie, and let's see if, Al, the Cardinals can have a little more extra inning magic.
Well, this time another slider, and he's out in front of it and pulls it beyond the third baseman into left field.
It's always interesting to see when you bring in extra innings the corners of the infield, the third baseman and first baseman near the bag, how often it helps you as opposed to how often it hurts you. Not saying that Barry would have had that ball, but he definitely would have had a chance had he been back at a normal position.
I think it usually hurts you.
I do too.
I really do. I think,
How many balls are hit right down the line and during the course of a game?
You stop somebody from second guessing it. But I think if you really played it out, you would find that, you give up more singles. Yeah, you protect the doubles, but you give up all the singles.
Gilkey on at first. He might run. Ozzie at the plate. And a strike over the inside corner. Ozzie this evening is 0 for 3 with a walk.
Same situation here with a guy like Ozzie, who is so adept at pushing the ball to left field. You got that third baseman in and guarding the line. I just like your chances.
Rojas a long look. That's a foul ball, trying to get out of play. Will it? No. 2 out. And it's going to be up to Jeffries as Ozzie fouls out to the third baseman, Sean Berry.
Ozzie using that heavy bat. Looks like he can't swing it. He tried to go to left field, but got underneath it, popped it up, and the new third baseman right there to catch it.
So in steps Greg Jeffries. Greg is 1 for 4 tonight, has 1 of the 3 Cardinal hits. He has hit 6 home runs, and we'll see if the Cardinals want to do some running here. He'd like to get that runner Gilkey down to second for Jeffries. Seems to be a very good clutch hitter.
Cardinals only have 3 hits on the night.
Way out in front of an off-speed pitch for strike 1. One of the hits, a leadoff triple in the 9th inning that turned out to be just a tease. Langford was stranded.
Jeffries got the first hit for the Cardinals in the 6th, and then Bernard Gilkey's the 3rd hit to lead off the 10th, or here in the 10th.
And Rojas keeping a close eye on Gilkey, who has stolen 3 bases this season. That's it. Greg Colbrin holds against the Cardinal runner.
Pitch out.
And instead a throw to first. There's Greg Colbrin, who takes over for Frank Bolick.
Now, if he gave a pitch out, why would you throw to first? Now they've changed and thrown the curveball.
0-1 delivery from Rojas to Jeffries. 0-2.
Well, maybe what they're doing, maybe Rojas' signs are 2 and 5, or are the fastball. Jeffries.
And that closed fist is just a throw to first.
See if this is a pitch out, or maybe I just can't see his fingers. Maybe.
It's obviously a throw to first.
You know what he's doing? He's got his thumb pointing towards first, saying throw over.
We'll get a closer look at Darren Fletcher. Jeffries up, Gilkey at first, 2 out. There's a pitch out, and it doesn't work. Gilkey moves down to second base. It looked like Fletcher wanted the pitch out, and Rojas was trying to throw strike 3.
You're exactly right. I mean, Fletcher jumped out for a pitch out, and then he threw the ball down and over the middle of the plate. Watch this. Your catcher's out there, and and he can't back up. That's exactly what you don't want to do. You always want it chest high, and he throws it right down in the dirt, back over toward behind him.
That's a wild pitch on Rojas, and we'll see if Jeffries can capitalize. Go-ahead run at second base. That's Gilkey. Good speed, 2 out. And Jeffries, who leads the team in hits, is at the plate. Greg also leads the team in RBIs. A 1-2 pitch to the first baseman, Colbrin. He'll take it himself, and we head to the bottom of the 10th inning, still tied. Cardinals get no runs on 1 hit, a wild pitch, a man left at second. We're still tied 1-1.
Some days you just can't lose. Wanna live, wanna spread the news. Some
so good. Got a smile, got a knock on wood.
A great day calls for a great beer. The Michelob beers, with its smooth, classic taste you don't find every day.
Michelob, some days. Michelob, some days. Michelob, some days.
Better than others.
For more than 3 generations, Malls has been the secret to great barbecue.
A fire's a fire, a grill's a grill. What makes that meat a culinary thrill? It's what you do when you barbecue. Pour the good sauce on. Sizzle that flavor in. Appetites go wild. Don't face your barbecue.
Hey kids, on Monday, May 31st, you can visit the ballpark. See the Cardinals take on the Dodgers and get an extra treat. A free pass to another great park, Six Flags. That's right, all fans age 11 and under with a paid admission will receive a free pass to Six Flags good through July 4th, 1993. That's a $17.95 value, and it's compliments of Six Flags and the Cardinals. And it's Monday, May 31st at the ballpark.
Here we are in the month of May, just about to finish this part of the calendar off. We're in Montreal here on the 24th. We'll bring you tomorrow's game here on the television network, then finish up the road trip and head home for 3 with San Diego and 3 with Los Angeles. And then a look at June, the 2 games against the Dodgers, then a road trip. Cincinnati for 4, San Francisco for 2, and then back home against these Expos and the Pirates.
So that's what June looks like.
That's what June looks like. Bottom of the 10th inning, 1-1 the score, and Perez trying to keep it that way. Fletcher leads it off and takes ball 1. Fletcher entered the game in the 8th inning and laid down the sacrifice bunt. Where was that pitch? Utters Mike Perez. It's 2-0. Outfield straight away. The infield plays Fletcher to pull. The 2-0 to Darren. Into left field. Gilkey can't make the grab. Base hit for Fletcher. A leadoff single, and the Expos have a chance here in the 10th inning. Gilkey was able to get a glove on that ball, but just couldn't make the catch.
I don't think Gilkey is still quite 100% from his quad pull, and you just wonder if he would have been able to get an extra step and come in and make this catch. As it is, he does a nice job of keeping the ball from getting too far away from him and just holding Fletcher to the single. But kind of get that impression, Joe? You know, he's not running as good as he normally is because of that pull, and
I would agree. Fletcher at first, DeShields at the plate, and Delino probably will be bunting. They take a good bunt to get Fletcher down to second. Back to the pitcher, and that'll get the job done. Out at first, and the winning run at second base with 1 out for Colburn, and then a lose. So a sacrifice, good, 1-4. That'll bring in Greg Colburn, batting in the spot vacated by Vanderwall. That was also the spot where the pitcher was hitting. And then when Felipe Alou brought in Mel Rojas, he also inserted Greg Colburn. Very talented right-handed hitter, and you can see that by the numbers. .329 average. Winning run at second, 1 out. Perez does get the luxury of facing back-to-back right-handers, but they're tough hitters. Colburn now and Alou up next. And then Walker after Alou, and with that, Cardinals warm up left-hander Real Cormier in the bullpen.
Colburn, really aggressive hitter, has had much better success against left-handers.
Strike over the inside corner, 1-1.
He dives into the ball, likes to get his arms extended, and you saw that pitch inside.
We're in the 8th inning now at Philadelphia, and the Phillies out in front of the Mets 5-3. into right field. A chance for Witten, maybe. Foul ball and just out of play. 1-2 the count. By the way, the Montreal Canadiens will move to the finals for the Stanley Cup playoff as they defeat the Islanders 5-2. So this city is 1-for-1, and now they'll try for the Quinella here at Olympic Stadium.
And how's the Kings-Toronto series going?
They're tied up. The 1-2 to Colburn. 2-2. Lead-off base hit by Fletcher. Just eluded the glove of Gilkey and left. The Shield punted Fletcher to second, and now Colburn is up with a count of 2-2. Tie game, 10th inning. 1-1 the score. And a 3-2 count. Hate to look back. The Cardinals had their chance to end this one in the top of the ninth with that leadoff triple by Langford, but could do nothing with it. And it might cost him. The 3-2 pitch. Ball foreign, and also gets away from Pappas, and the winning run is at third base, and that should be a passed ball.
Right, Joe. Ball four, and before Pappas was really trying to pump up his pitcher, and it was an errant throw, but Pappas boxed the ball, and Fletcher was out at second base easily. Just goes to third on the walk.
And now it's first and third. One away from Moises Alou. So here the Expos have their chance with a runner at third and less than 2 out. The Cardinals couldn't do anything in the ninth inning with Langford there in the heart of their order coming up. Now let's see what Alou and or Walker can do. Infield in. And now time called by the hitter. Al Cormier getting loose in the bullpen, but that might be in vain depending on what Alou does here with first and third, 1 out.
You know, wasn't such a bad idea. I wasn't really afraid if Perez had walked Colburn, but I sure didn't want to see that pass ball.
That's foul and almost killed the runner at third. Darren Fletcher at third base just saw his life flash before his eyes. Look at this.
You always want to take your lead in foul territory because if the ball hits you, you're not out. But it doesn't say anything about dying in the meantime.
That's scary. That is scary. First and third, 1 out. Infield still in for Alou, who got a pretty good swing there against Perez.
Another ball gets away from the bullpen. Bernard's had to retrieve 2 of them since Alou's been hitting.
Montreal trying to take this first of 3 here from the Cardinals. 0-1 on Alou. Maybe 2. Here comes the runner to the plate, and they have him hung up. Fletcher hung up in the rundown, and he's tagged out by Zeal. Boy, that's bad base running. That's why the infield was in. Fletcher took 2 steps and then remembered the infield was in and was dead. Boy, that's bad base running.
Exactly right. Second time the Expos had a golden opportunity. Ozzie right there, he stays in there. He runs him, gets him to commit. He goes towards second, and then Pappas runs him back to where Zeal could tag him out. And now, you know, be interesting right here. You got runners at first and second after they get Fletcher in this rundown. He knows he doesn't have any speed, so he had no business going home there. I'm almost wondering, and you know, with Walker coming up, would you go ahead? He's going to bring in Cormier, but I was almost wondering if they might walk the bases loaded.
Not going to do it. Larry Walker will be up. Mike Perez is finished. Real Cormier into the fire in his native Canada. Still tied.
Southwest Airlines to Louisville. Just plain smart.
Guess what? Right through Memorial Day on your way
To the park, to the beach.
the church, picnics, stop at Hardee's and get an 8-piece Hardy pack
8 pieces, fried chicken, 4 biscuits.
for $6.99. Hey, good deal. Then get a second Hardy pack for just $4. Whoa! A second Hardy pack for just $4. That's enough to feed
Mom and Pop.
My husband, my mother, my grandpa.
Kids.
Are you ready for some real food?
Hardee's.
A look at the National League's Eastern Division. Philadelphia out in front, not only in the standings, but in their game tonight at home over the Mets, 5-3 in the 8th inning. These Expos 5.5 out. The Cardinals a game and a half behind Montreal in 3rd place. Everybody punched up in the middle of the pack. Mets bringing up the rear. We're still tied 1-1, 10th inning, and Larry Walker getting another chance to hit. He's 0 for 4, and he'll face a left-hander, Real Cormier.
Now Real is appearing in his 12th game, his 4th relief appearance, and that is something that he has not come to grips with. He does not like being a relief, and let's hope he doesn't let that affect him facing this tough hitter.
Here's Walker, and a strike. That's a way to start it out for Cormier, who appeared in yesterday's game and walked the only batter he faced, Orlando Merced, in the 6th inning, which allowed the Pirates to tie that game. 1st and 2nd, 2 out. Game on the line here. Walker could end it. Cormier keeping the ball away from Larry. Count is 1-1.
Is this his 3rd consecutive game or 3 in the last 4 days?
Well, he pitched yesterday. He did not pitch 2 days ago, but he did pitch on Friday. It's got to be a big adjustment for a guy who's always been a starter.
He's warmed up 4 days.
1-1 to Walker. To first, Jeffries gets the big hop, and we're going to the 11th. Well, the Expos spoiled a good chance. Makes you feel a little better about what the Cards did in the 9th. 11th inning. We're tied 1-1.
What would you do for $1 million?
I'd probably eat my socks.
I would eat cockroaches, grasshoppers, grub worms, spider that wiggle. I hate bugs.
100 tamales, and without taking off the husks.
I mean, wouldn't anybody about do anything for $1 million?
Yeah, I'd kiss him for $1 million. I've done everything but kissing for a lot less.
People will do a lot of unbelievable things for $1 million. All you have to do is pick 6 numbers. Missouri's Lotto. What are you waiting for?
Southwest Airlines to Louisville. Just plain smart.
Guess what? Right through Memorial Day on your way
To the park, to the beach.
the church, picnics, stop at Hardee's and get an 8-piece Hardy pack
8 pieces, fried chicken, 4 biscuits.
for $6.99. Hey, good deal. Then get a second Hardy pack for just $4. Whoa! A second Hardy pack for just $4. That's enough to feed
Mom and Pop.
My husband, my mother, my grandpa.
Kids.
Are you ready for some real food?
Hardee's.
Cardinals collectively as a team must be leading a good life. They're getting chance after chance, and we go to the 11th because of this base running mistake, or at least this help get the Cardinals out of a tight spot.
And I think for the 2nd day in a row, you got to put a lot of blame on the 3rd base coach. He's got to stop this guy from even going. And you know,
he's stopping the other runner from coming to 3rd. But
sure, but I mean, it's not a contact play. He's got the play right in front of him. You got to yell and scream and tell him he can't go.
Once you take 2 steps down the line, you're dead.
Yeah, but there's no reason to take 2 steps down the line.
I agree with you. And again, we talk about fundamentals, and that's something you hear some of the older baseball fans talk about, fundamentals or lack thereof with today's player. And these 2 teams here this evening are putting on a clinic defending that argument. Langford will stand in. Let's see if he can do the same thing. He led off the 9th inning with a triple, and he'll lead off the 11th inning against another right-handed pitcher. This time Mel Rojas with Langford, Witten, and Zeal coming up. Let's also credit Cormier with a good job of getting the tough Larry Walker, and Cards can come back here. Might hand him a victory.
I remember he hasn't come to grips yet with relief pitching, but you pick up a victory in relief tonight, and it would help him understand why he's there. Still think he'll be in the rotation before long.
Langford leading off, 11th inning, 1-1 the score.
Well, you can go home with a home run.
Ray has hit 2. And he had on the count 2-1. Ray has walked twice and tripled. He's also run into a double play. The 2-1 from Rojas. Pretty well hit to left. And the left fielder, Frazier, plays it terribly, and that's going to be a leadoff double. Now that ball was hit hard, granted, but boy, Frazier took a bad route to that ball.
He broke in first, and the ball got over his head. He has great speed, and this ball just jumps off his bat, throws the bat head out, hits it off the end of the bat, and before this, look at Frazier, got all messed up. He broke in first, then he goes back, and just in desperation just throws the glove up, but he had no idea really where that ball was. He did nicely pick it off the wall barehanded.
And Langford is on at second with a leadoff double. Ray did hit that ball hard, and now it's up to Witten, Zeal, and Alisayev if the Cardinals are going to take the lead. Going to let Mark swing away. Why not? Takes ball 1. Cardinals have been having problems again lately getting runners in from third with less than 2 outs, so Joe Torre will just let Witten swing away, or at least he gave him 1 pitch. And Rojas trying to keep Langford close at second.
A guy is struggling at the plate like Witten. You don't want to take away his aggressiveness. You really want him to capture it once again.
Oh, nice block by Fletcher on a 52-footer out of the hand of Rojas. Boy, that pitch bounced 5 feet in front of the plate. 2-0 on Witten with Zeal on deck.
Well, Mel has good stuff, but part of what makes him effective is he is effectively wild. There's a few pitches around where a lot of hitters aren't comfortable standing in there against him.
Cardinals have a heck of a chance again to take the lead. We're in the 11th, tied at 1. Langford at second with nobody out. And the 2-0 from Rojas to Witten. 3-0. Zeal on deck, and action begins to stir in the Montreal bullpen. Looks like the right-hander, Sergio Valdez. Joe Torre has to be a little frustrated with what he's seen so far, but again, we keep saying this. He can forget what's happened up to this point if the Cardinals can convert here in the 11th. Swinging on 3-0, 3-1. And Witten still feeling for the ball a little bit.
Yeah, he really was. Kind of a long swing. His swing has gotten much longer in the last couple weeks. You know, Joe Torre wasn't feeling particularly well before this game. I think he got a little touch of the flu, and I think this game has added to it. But a victory would, like you said, would exactly what the doctor ordered.
Witten with a count of 3-1. Zeal on deck. Langford out at second base with nobody out in the inning. Can the Cardinals bring him home? The 3-1 to Witten. Base hit to right, and that might give the Cards a lead. It will not. You can't run on Walker. That ball was just hit too hard. But it's first and third and nobody out, and Langford made sure that that ball wasn't caught on the line. This time, good base running by Langford.
Exactly right. This ball was hit extremely hard, never really got up. So you saw him stop and adjust. He could have put his head down and possibly scored, but it would not have been good base running. And remember, too, there are no one out.
And also remember, you've got Larry Walker in right, who has one of the best throwing arms in the game.
Well, Bucky would have stopped him at third, no matter, but he did the proper thing, and now the pressure's back on the Expos. Infield in.
And a little bit on Zeal, who gets a reprieve, a second chance. First and third, nobody out. a strike to Zeal. Let's take a look at what happened the last time. Zeal was up with a runner at third and one out. Struck him out. That was Wetland. Now he faces Rojas, and he took a pretty good pitch for strike one. Zeal has been struggling lately. He could bust out here and give the Cards the lead. First and third, nobody out. Almost got it. 1 ball, 1 strike. And again, I mentioned that Sergio Valdez loosens for the Expos in their bullpen. Lee Smith cranks it up in the Cardinal bullpen. 1-1 to Zeal. And a little flare into right. That won't do it. Zeal broke his bat. 1 out.
That's the one guy you don't want to hit the ball to. Larry Walker in this situation with a runner at third.
And the frustration continues for Zeal, and now Alicea has the pressure on him. When are the Cardinals going to bust out of this?
See where the pitch is. Got underneath it. He pops it up. Walker coming in, and he has a terrific throwing arm and accurate. And he really was in terrible form throwing that ball, but he knew his reputation would keep the Cardinals from even coming home.
Well, first and third, 1 out for Alicea. Langford at third, Witten at first, and a check on the runner. Zeal, you know, is just so anxious at the plate, and he offered it that bad delivery up and in. And so now Alicea has the pressure on him. Got to pick up your teammates if you're going to win over the long haul. There's ball 1. We talked about this the other night. One guy doesn't do it. If you're going to be a good team, the next guy has to come up and get the job done.
Just think, if the Cardinals win this game, they're going to win 3 out of 4 against, clubs they have to beat without hitting.
The 1-0 to Alicea, who could put the Cards on top. Instead, Rojas keeps the eye on Witten at first. Montreal has 8 hits. Cardinals with only 5, but we're tied here in the 11th. Leadoff double by Langford, a base hit by Witten. Zeal fly to right. And now Alicea drives one down the line, and that will give the Cardinals the lead. Not only does Langford score, here comes Witten. It's going to be a 2-run hit for Alicea, make it a 2-run triple. And the Cardinals lead it 3-1 here in the 11th inning. And Alicea certainly did pick up the Cardinal attack here in the 11th inning.
11 RBIs, and that gives him 8 RBIs on the road. He hits this ball with authority inside the right field foul line, right inside the bag. It goes down the corner. We couldn't see. It hits the mound here, and Larry Walker had to have had some trouble. We couldn't see it at all. No, he got to it pretty quick, but the Cardinals get not only to Langford from third, but Witten all the way from first base comes around.
And now Brewer could add to the lead. Infield in. Runner at third, 1 out, and Brewer pinch hitting for Cormier, who could pick up the win. Wouldn't that be nice? It's going to be up to Lee Smith. Strike 1 to Brew, who knocked in the game winner yesterday on a sac fly to Merced. Big Lee Arthur happy to be out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Amazing. Now, one team a lot of times will just have your number, and you'll do just such great pitching against everybody else.
Did that hit Brewer, or did it hit his bat? I believe it hit his bat, and if it did, that's strike 2. Evidently it did, so Brewer's in the hole.
Yeah, I think you're right. Pitch up and in, and he strides into it, and then he tries to lean back out of the way. Look there, it looked like it hit him, hit him in the sleeve or the elbow there. So it's 1-1 there. If they call that a strike, it hit him. It hit him rather than the bat. Probably was 6 inches below it.
That will not get the runner home. Brewer grounds out to the first baseman, Colbrin. Boy, you'd like to get that extra run, and it's going to be up to Eric Pappas if the Cardinals are going to do that. Line on Cormier, 1/3 of an inning, all zeros, as he came in with 2 on, 2 out, and got Larry Walker to ground out to Jeffries at first. And now it's Alicea at third. He's the hero of the moment. He's there with 2 out for Pappas, who is 0 for 1. Boy, that ball's hit well to left. Back, and off the wall. End of score, Alicea, and the Cardinals lead by 3. Eric Pappas with a run-scoring double, and it's 4-1 St. Louis.
That away, Eric. Well, one time that pass ball looked like he was going to be the GOAT. Alicea got us 2 more, or gets us 2 more to take the lead, but this third one is a big, important one. Double right off the wall. Alicea, who's been doing great hitting on the road, got the Cardinals the lead, and he just trots home with an additional run. And now we're going to make a pitching change.
That's going to be all for Mr. Rojas. He could be the loser. Sergio Valdez into the game as Eric Pappas delivers a 2-out run-scoring double. Good news, Cardinals lead at 4-1 here in the top of the 11th inning.
Snooks has a great lineup of savings for you today. Here's the windup and the pitch.
Malt's barbecue sauce, 2 for $3.
Next on deck,
Eagle chips, on sale, half price.
And a double play.
Ortega sauces, buy 1, get 1 free.
And here's Snook's designated hitter.
Pride of the Farm whole pork butts, 88 cents a pound.
Make a short stop to Snooks, your savings store.
Where there's smoke, there's chicken. At Jack in the Box, we slowly smoke chicken breast and carve it into tender slices. And where there's smoked chicken, there's cheddar. Natural aged melting cheddar. Then we top it with sizzling bacon, all on grilled sourdough. The new smoked chicken, cheddar, and bacon sandwich at Jack in the Box. Where there's smoked chicken, there's
4-1 Cardinals. 3 runs here in the top of the 11th inning. 3 runs on 4 hits, and now Bernard Gilkey steps in there to face Sergio Valdez, the new Montreal pitcher. Pappas at second, and he'll be stranded as Gilkey grounds out for 3. But the Cardinals get 3 runs on 4 hits and make that man very happy. Lee Smith to the mound. The Cardinals lead the Expos 4-1.
Where to find the Mountain Man. A mountain man can often be found on the trail of adventure, in search of remote watering holes, or weathering harsh climates. Most often, however, you'll find the mountain man wherever you find smooth bush beer or easy drinking bush light. So, head for the mountains and find yourself in the wide, open world of the mountain man.
Southwest Airlines to Louisville. Just plain smart.
Anytime, any place. Go fish. Anyone, any taste. Go fish. Any day, any night, any size, appetite. One place does it right. Go fish.
At Long John's, get what you want any way you want it. From combo platters to baked meals, from value packs to $1.99 specials.
You can get your wish. Go fish. Long John Silver's.
Go for one of our 3 great $1.99 specials. And don't forget to add a piece.
Isn't it funny how things work out? This is what we talked about at the beginning. Big Lee, the peaks and valleys. Cardinals and Cubs all-time saves leader. And, of course, with the Cardinals, he is tied with Todd Worrell. But he could break Toddy and become the all-time saves leader by himself. 5th in the National League with the 12 saves. But lately, he's been giving up that home run swing.
He's given up 4, but he might go the rest of the year without giving up another one. And he will become the all-time Cardinal saves leader with his 13th here tonight. You know, we were talking about what a bad game yesterday, but forget, he was the winning pitcher in that ball game. So
that's right.
Big Lee would like to get back and forget about the wins and losses and get back on the save machine.
And here in the 11th inning with a 3-run lead, and isn't it nice that Pappas delivered that 2-out RBI double for that 3rd run. He will face Berry and Cordero to start it off.
Speaking of threes, this would be the Cardinals' 3rd extra inning victory on this road trip.
I don't know. What's going on? Whatever it takes.
You only get paid for 9. I get paid all the way through.
1-0 the count on Berry. And a strike from Big Lee. This for Berry is his first at bat of the evening. Lee Smith came in yesterday in the 9th inning and gave up that home run. Hit by Kevin Young. That was in Pittsburgh. Ozzie playing in shallow left field. Throws Berry out at first base by a half step. And he knows how to play that position. That's obvious, but when you see Ozzie start there, double pump, take his time and get the runner by a half step, you realize just how good he is. The final in from Philadelphia, the Phillies defeat New York and Frank Tanana 6-3. Tommy Green was the starter. He's still undefeated for Philadelphia. And so it looks like the winner of this one will stay where they were at the start. If the Cardinals win it, they'll stay 7 out. Meanwhile, if the Expos lose, they'll be 6.5 games out, and the Cards will be a half game out of second place. And there's a strike to Cordero.
That's what we want to do. We want to play these Expos, beat the Expos, leapfrog over them, and then we'll worry about the Philadelphia Phillies.
Lee Smith facing Cordero. On deck is Tim McIntosh. And we might see him right here. Jeffries, do you have a play? No, he does not, as a fan interfered with that ball, and it's up to the umpire, his discretion, if he wants to call an out there. But the fan, I don't think the fan reached over, and if he doesn't reach over, then I think it's a fair ball, fair game.
Watch Jeffries go over here, and he just comes up and...
Let's say this, if that fan wasn't there, Jeffries probably makes the catch, but the fan did not interfere with the ball. He was still behind that railing, so it's just strike 2. Lee wants to strike out anyway, doesn't he?
Yes.
Another one. Must be Cordero's brother over there.
Watch Jeffries going to climb up on the rail this time.
Greg's got a smile going. Everybody can smile now. It looked like it was going to be a frustrating night, but Cardinals lead by 3.
So, by the way, I was talking to Felipe Alou and asked him what was his assessment of the Phillies, and he said, well, they got those big guys in the middle of the order, and they've got Dykstra, but he said, other than that, they are an impressive club. He said, we hit their closer, we beat Mitch Williams, their middle relief gave them some problems. He said, I don't think they're that good a team.
You could get a pretty good argument from a lot of people. And make no mistake about it, they are a good team.
Just told you what Felipe said.
I know. 0-2 on Will Cordero with McIntosh, longtime minor league catcher, on deck. Gotcha. Picks up the strikeout. 2 out, nobody on, and Lee Smith trying to pick up save number 13, but I guess more importantly, become the Cardinals' all-time save leader, breaking the record set by Todd Worrell.
McIntosh 2 for 9, giving him that 222 batting average.
McIntosh is pinch hitting here for Valdez. Sergio went 1/3 of an inning. All zeros. He came in and got Gilkey. McIntosh, the last hope. He's been bouncing around the minor leagues for a while, and he looks at a strike. Excuse me, ball 1 high.
And Felipe Alou used every one of his position players except for the injured Marquise Grissom.
Makes a difference when he's not in the lineup, doesn't it?
Yes.
Among the league leaders in runs batted in is Marquise Grissom, but he hurt an ankle yesterday, and he's not in the game here tonight. So it's McIntosh, the only remaining catcher left available to Felipe Alou, and the second to last position player left. 2-0 the count. Into left field, and that should do it. Gilkey settles underneath it. Lee Smith is now the all-time Cardinals save leader. Congratulations, Mr. Smith, number 130 as he breaks the record previously held by Todd Worrell. And this one was a little easier to take than anything he did in Pittsburgh. Need to take a local break. In 11, the Cardinals defeat Montreal 4-1.